Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Uncertainty, self-doubt, stressing about not knowing where to start. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Word art. Sorry, live, laugh, lovers. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
This week in Indialantic, Florida, two couples navigate love and breakups, and all is fine until someone decides to add a little jealousy and murder into the mix. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. By the way, I love every time, half the time I pitch to you for your name, you're surprised. You're like, I'm Jimmie Whisman. Like, oh, shit, they're going to ask for my name now. There he is. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining us and enjoying us, hopefully. We have a pretty crazy show for you today. This is, if you tuned into the virtual live show, this is the story from the virtual live show, but with, as you know how we do it, if we do a live show and then a recorded one, whole bunch of more information that we just couldn't fit into the virtual live show, and some really, really good stuff, too, that you're going to want to see that there's just no time for with a live show. So you're going to get all of that crazy stuff. Before we get to that, quickly, your reviews. Thank you for those. They help a lot this week, so review if you can. shutupandgivememurder.com. Head over there. Get tickets to live shows.
We're
going to be in California next month. We're going to be in Arizona next month.
Tempe Improv.
We're going to be at in Brea. We're going to be in San Diego.
Yeah.
We got lots of shows coming up, so get your tickets now to all those shows, and the whole damn plate of them are out there, so get them now. shutupandgivememurder.com. We cannot wait to see everybody out there. We're excited. Patreon.com/crime and sports. We have awesome shows for you this week. And anybody $5 or above, you get access to everything, both crime and sports and small town murders bonus episodes, the entire back catalog. If we make it, you're going to have it. So
you bet.
There you go. This week, 2 really good ones for the crime and sports episode, something that small town murder people will be interested in. The boxer Christy Martin, a female boxer who was awesome. She was just awesome.
Magnificent.
And then what an incredible story of her home life. And there is violence, and it's wild. So you'll be very interested in that. There's a documentary on Netflix, I believe, that you can watch. I'll also kind of get some insight into that. And then for Small Town Murders bonus episode, it's that time of year again, everyone. The Prisoner Dating Game is back.
Fantastic.
The all-violent felon edition of the Prisoner Dating Game. I'm going to line up 4 lucky men and 4 lucky ladies for Jimmie Whisman, and he's going to pick them based solely on their pitch on their dating profile. He's going to pick he has no idea what these people have done, and then once he finds out, then we're going to show him who he's chosen, and even more importantly, tell him who he's chosen and what they've done to end up where they are. And it is amazing. You have to, if you haven't heard one yet, they're so good. Check it out. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And of course, you're going to get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmie's going to mispronounce your name terribly while trying to. But then again, like we said, he didn't even know if he should say his own name when he should. So
it's all effort.
Cut him some slack here. He's making a lot of effort. So do that. And if you just want to make a donation and have good karma and get a shout out as well, of course, you can do that over at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. That said, disclaimer. This is a comedy show, everybody. It's a comedy show. We're comedians. We're going to make jokes. There's going to be murder. We're not going to make jokes about murder. That's the thing. You make jokes about idiots who think they can get away with murder. You make jokes about that sort of stuff. There's nothing funny about a beheading or somebody being burned alive. None of that's funny. That's not funny. The idea of I think I can get away with this, that's hilarious on the other hand. But what isn't funny, and what we try to go out of our way never to do, is we try not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags, Jimmie. That's how this works. So if that sounds good to you, welcome. We're going to have a crazy time. Enjoy. And if it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. You should probably give it a shot. It's not exactly what you think, probably. So get on board and give us a shot. And let's have a good time. And let's all, from the lungs, shout, Shut up
and give me murder. Yes, sir.
Do this. Let's go on a trip, Jimmie, shall we?
I would love that.
Now, we've been to Florida a couple months ago, but obviously there's enough murder in Florida. We could just do Florida, small town Florida murder, and we'd have shows every week, and it wouldn't be a problem. So Florida, and for one of the things, New York, California, Texas, Florida, a lot of people there. There's a lot of population, so you're just going to obviously get more murder just based on more people. North Dakota, people go, well, why don't you do North Dakota? Because there's nobody there.
They all left. They all never showed up. I don't know.
They took all their aggression out on the buffalo. Like they're gone. You know what I mean? There's nobody there to kill each other. That's why there's not a lot of murders. So the chance of having one that's crazy and entertaining and a crazy story are a lot less. Whereas Florida, a lot more. So the other thing is we were supposed to be in Washington this week. It was our scheduled episode, but a book that I need for this is not going to be here till tomorrow. It was supposed to be here yesterday, so we'll have to do that one next week, and we had to flip-flop. So let's do this. Let's get in it. We're going to Florida, Jimmie.
Okay.
Here we go. Back down the road. You had at least 6 or 7 shots and some beers the night of this show. So I'd love to ask you what you remember of this case.
I remember it's in Florida.
There you go. So we're going to Indialantic, Florida, and this is Central Florida. right on the coast, right on the east coast of Florida.
Okay.
It's about an hour and 15 minutes to Orlando, that direction for Disney. About 2 hours and 50 minutes, so almost 3 hours down to Miami if you want to go that direction. And it's about 5 hours and 40 minutes to the episode we did before this, our last Florida episode, which was in Bristol, Florida, which was absolutely insanity. So that was...
People, you forget how goddamn big Florida is.
Yeah, it's a big state, and there's a lot of people there. There's a ton of cities. There's think about it, there's 8 big cities there, or at least, moderate-sized cities and up. So it's not... Most states don't have that.
That is really wild. I can name probably 6 or 8 cities in Florida. That's nuts.
What I mean. Name 6 cities in Missouri, Jimmy. Go ahead.
I don't know that I can name 6 other cities in America, James.
Missouri goes. St. Louis, Kansas City. Shit. Well, the one the tornado destroyed. There's that one. A few years ago. It should be dead by now. I don't know.
Is
Joplin.
Ozark
there you
a city in there?
I mean, and then whatever towns we've done. Other than that, I don't know. So we're going to Florida, though. It's okay. The last one in Bristol was like swampland. This is like idyllic beach shore kind of.
Yeah, it's near West Palm, right?
No. I think West Palm's not quite near West Palm.
No, it's not that far south?
No. It's up like kind of central coast over there. It's in Brevard County, area code 321, because it is Florida. They don't want people to forget down there. What is it again? Oh, 3. Good. Yeah. Oof.
It's not.
Shit.
That's not the whole state of Florida because of the countdown from the space place?
3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, I feel like, is how they do it. The rest of the state's 1, 2, 3. Just let's keep it simple, everybody. Half the people here have been chewed on by an alligator at some point. Right. There's a lot going on.
People are taking crocodile around here, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you got it. 1.3 square miles, and one of that is on land, and the rest of that's the shoreline, obviously. Motto here, doesn't get any better than this. You want Florida? We got an ass full. That's a motto. Bend over. Here it comes. I got Florida coming right in. You want the panhandle or the dangly piece? Because I got it all, buddy.
Hell yeah.
There we go. History of this town. From 1919 to 1921, there's a guy named Ernest Coven-Hoven. Coven-Hoven. So...
He had a hyphenated last name.
He comes from two blue blood families that hyphenate last names so they don't lose their family name, and a Coven married a Hoven, and they thought that was a good idea. This was probably like a half arranged marriage if it's like a blue bloody type thing, so couldn't have been. You're not the Coven boy, someone else, please. Let's not do that. He bought the land that became this town eventually and settled in the area and built a wooden bridge connecting Indialantic with Melbourne, Florida.
Got it.
So it started out as a wooden bridge connecting. Otherwise, it's just kind of out on its own there. In the 1920s, the hotel was built, the Indialantic Hotel, which was later changed to the Trade Winds Hotel.
Okay.
And 1924, they built a casino down there. Like, how do we get people to come here? Casino. And I guess it's the Bahama Beach Club now. There's that. Now it's Nance Park. So it went from rarely do you see things go from a casino to a park.
Right.
It's like the most profitable to the least profitable thing possible.
Most profitable to write-off.
I guess we'll just let people sleep here if they don't have anywhere else to go. I don't know what the fuck. It's fine. I don't know. We got to hire a guy to cut the lawn, I guess. Other than that, I guess it's just kind of, we're going to let it sit here for a while. From 41 to 47, it took 6 years to do this. The wooden bridge was replaced with a drawbridge, and the war delayed it. They weren't I don't feel like doing it no more. We'll be back next year. It was the war. They didn't need materials.
It's a lot of union breaks breaking up.
Yeah. Hey, I got my 15 right now. I worked 4 hours. I get lunch. I'm sorry. It's over.
I don't care that the girder's already on the crane. I'm taking a break.
This was you couldn't get materials because it was everything for the war effort there. So in 1952, Indialantic was incorporated with its official name isn't just Indialantic. Its official name is India, and it's like India like the country and Atlantic like the end of the ocean name. So Indialantic by the sea is what they called it.
Because there's another one inland.
By the sea. Yeah, Indialantic, you would assume there's another one in Tennessee also.
Missouri has one.
Yeah, they do. So Indialantic by the sea, and that's all dashes too, all hyphenated up.
Jeez,
to make sure it's a lot. It's on some signs, but nobody ever says I'm going to Indialantic by the sea.
That is so many words.
Indialantic. It's a 5-syllable name, so that's enough syllables for your whole thing.
And you got 3 more for where it's at. Gee,
yeah,
got to qualify it.
You might as well have named it Pietragallo. Fucking, Pietragallo by the sea. Pietragallo by the sea. That's what I'm going to be from now on. When I lived in Arizona.
Pietragallo with coastline.
Yeah, it was Pietragallo in the desert before. It's okay. So in 1985, they built like a modern causeway with an elevated part so boats can go, and they made it modern there. So notable people from this town. We got a Olympic gymnast, 2-time bronze and 1-time silver medalist, Kathy Johnson.
Yeah.
You got Pat Nashek, who is a 2-time all-star pitcher who's been on, I remember from the virtual live show, he had pictures of him in every uniform, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
baseball
6.
Most traded or signed player.
So he's been on 7 teams, so it was a lot. And then also there's this guy, Robert Marks is here, and Robert Marks is a pioneer in scuba diving and an author, and the picture of him is basically him like an older guy with no shirt and his gut hanging out, sitting next to another older guy with no shirt and their guts hanging out. They're wearing like black socks on the beach, like picking through sand and shit. And I'm like, what is this? And I
didn't know that I was a pioneer at scuba diving because it looked like pictures of me.
But
his
older.
body looked like shit.
Yeah. But I started writing it down, and like I took the name. I'm like, oh, cool, he's from here, because I thought it was Richard Marx at first, and then I looked him up and I went, that's not Richard Marx, and then I went, oh yeah, Richard is Richard, not Robert. That's why. So it's a completely
world's best
different person.
Twitter sniper. Richard Marx loves to find people shitting on him, and then he just says things like "fuck your mother."
Yeah, he's fucking. Hi,
ask your mom or something.
He'll say
like
things
that.
like
He's awesome.
your mom wanted to fuck me in 1988 or some weird shit like that, and you're like, that's hilarious.
I fingered your mom at a county fair in '93.
And then he's like, hold on to the knife. You're like, what the fuck, dude?
He's a fantastic Twitter sniper. I love him.
Just said something filthy and then sang a love ballad to me. It's not cool.
Yeah.
So reviews of this town, of course, that are fun. People seem to like this town. 5 stars for this one. I like the small town feel, though that is slowly leaving the area due to the many of condos being built right on the beach. The town sets up art festivals and other little markets in the local beach park, which area is great. Okay. There are plenty of laws. This person, I don't like.
Sentence structure is lacking. They're not real good at this.
They have a stroke at the end of every sentence.
Yeah.
It starts out fine, then they're like, "It's great." Ah! There are plenty of
area is great. Area condos.
Yeah, no, fire bad. Like this is Frankenstein after 2 years of community college. That's what this is. Area great. Oh, Frankenstein reverts back to former syntax.
Years of community.
He's learning.
Yeah. There are civics class under his belt.
Yeah, he knows how to write a report. He's doing well. Nothing wrong with community college. It's good shit. I wish I would have went there, but I didn't.
I don't have that in it.
No. I wish I did. There are plenty of locally owned businesses to shop or eat at, which also adds to the community feel. There's also a large surf community, which is great for whoever likes beach. So if you like beach, this is for you.
Rick Tamlin wrote that.
That's awesome.
Like beach, love lamb.
It's the shawarma man from Crime and Sports wrote that. You like beach? You come, for you, beach.
Come like beach.
Sign say closed, no beach. So here's 5 stars. I love living so close to the beach.
Hell yeah.
Beach is a big selling point here. Oh, yeah, it's the goddamn beach. The people you come across are happy and live a healthy lifestyle. It is a quiet and safe place to live. My children attend the local public school, which has a STEM program and robotics. It's an excellent school.
My kids are nerds.
Yeah, my kids are, they're bragging on me. My kids are smart. Well, yeah.
I like the schools where my kids get picked on.
It's great. Here's 4 stars. So, I mean, sounds pretty good, but something's missing. Some people are like, it just didn't give me the over the top, It's one of those.
There's not enough beach for me.
It's all beach and everything, but I just want a little more beach. I currently live here in Indialantic and can say that you will never be more than 5 blocks away from the beach or river. Very family friendly. There are lots of parks for children to play and several hotels for people visiting.
Yeah.
Which you live by the beach, people are going to visit.
Or the river.
Or the river. Which
Gross.
Go to the goddamn ocean, please. You have an ocean available.
Yeah. Don't
go to the. Imagine the trash on the riverside. Like the people who are hanging out on the river, like, it's too crowded on the beach. It's like,
this water's warmer. Yeah, it's piss.
Warmer.
That's piss.
No, kids, keep your sneakers on. There's a lot of broken glass all over the place, so you won't keep them sneakers on, but it's nicer here.
I remember that as a kid.
Going to shit lakes.
That's what we would do. Go to the river and the lake, and we always swam with our shoes on.
Did you bring your lake shoes? God damn it, Jesus Christ, now you're going to get a foot disease.
Those are your good shoes, Jimmy, damn it.
Shit. You ain't going in the water. You're done. So here's 3 stars. Found out about Indialantic through my family. The nightlife is non-existent, and living around here is not very exciting for a college student, but luckily I'm not home that frequently. Indialantic is pretty. So if you're out trolling for like some college, people to get with, this may not be the place for you, I don't think.
Unless they're on break and back home to visit Ma.
That's it. Population 2,895. So it's a small little place.
Wow, 3,000.
3,000 in a square mile. It's a pretty small little place. Female, males about average. A couple more females than males. Median age a little bit older, though. It's almost 47.
Because it's fucking expensive to live by the ocean.
And a lot of people here in the 45 to 59 range in the age demo. Like a lot of erectile dysfunction commercials probably being filmed here with local couples. Like
a bunch of early retirement people.
Yeah, well, you look like a upwardly mobile, upper middle class family whose dick might not work. Would you? You got gray hair and everything. Would you guys sit in the bathtub? Want to sit in the bathtub and long to have sex with each other? Yeah. Long for the days when you could physically accomplish this goal. So
pretend that it's possible for the two of you to fuck in water
without this medication that we're pitching.
Right.
So marriage here, married people, few more, 55%, which skews older. A couple more dollars, it makes more sense that there's going to be a couple more married people, less single people with no children than normal. This is none of this is a surprise.
No.
Race of this town, 88.3% white. So pretty fucking white. 0.6% black.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Not a lot of black people. There's a lot of black people in Florida, so I don't know.
Florida's doing all right. Yeah.
That seems like on purpose or something. Or I don't know what that is, but that's not a lot. I don't know if they raise that bridge up. Like, raise the bridge. Boat coming? No boat. Raise the bridge.
It's a Mayflower truck from Detroit.
Close it up. Jesus Christ. I see an Atlanta Braves hat coming. Watch out. I don't know why I'm seeing
on
it.
that truck.
0.6%. That's
it's fascinating.
3.4% Asian, 6.2% Hispanic, which is like a third of the normal. And this is Florida, so it's like a fifth of the normal.
Right.
So that's interesting there. 35% of the people here are religious, and it's spread out pretty equally. Florida doesn't really, unless you're in like the swamp, it doesn't really conform to the religious things because people are from everywhere. So you got a few Baptists, 12% Catholic, which isn't really a lot, or a little, 7% other. Okay. It is Florida though, and 0.1% Jewish. So
interesting.
That's not a big
not there, huh?
Magnet. No, definitely not.
They're going elsewhere.
Interesting. So, which is Florida again.
Yeah.
There's plenty of Jewish people in Florida, and not here, though. So in Brevard County, in the last election, 41% of the people voted Democrat, 57% Republican, about 1.5% independent. We have unemployment rate is a little bit lower than the national average right here, and it's kind of a white-collar place. And the median household income, a little bit higher. Not a little bit, a lot higher. $76,776.
Doing great.
Very patriotic number of, it's almost, normally it's about $57,500. So that's a lot better. A lot of people here make in the $100,000 to $150,000 range. So
fuck.
Those are the people on those commercials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dress shirt. The guy was out. He was just out like waxing his classic car. You know, he has like a 67 Mustang. He was just out waxing, and he's like, I can get this to work and ride down the road. Why can't my penis be as agreeable? Honey, come sit in a bathtub on the roof with me, and we'll overlook the city and long for the days of pussy yore. So this is what's happening here. The overall cost of living, 100 is regular average. Here it's about 122, so that's a little bit high too. And the thing that's most high is the housing. That's where we're going to really. Housing is 182 out of 100.
Holy shit!
For a median home cost of $521,100. This is
just unfair.
That's very expensive. Let's just say that here. And if we have made a case for you, you need to go to a farmer's market and overpay for a house, we have for you the Indialantic, Florida Real Estate Report. The average two-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,453, which is above the national average, but not quite as much as the actual housing prices.
It is crazy what rent has gone to, though.
It's nuts.
Apartment renting is bananas.
It's, can you afford a down payment? No. Well, you're going to pay out of your ass every month. Yeah. That's what it is. You're going to pay more than you would for a house because you don't have $50,000 in the bank, and that sucks, man.
That's so unfair. And then when charging that kind of rent, it makes it impossible for somebody to save to get a house.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, you have to really get a huge windfall from somewhere. Who the hell are you going to get that from? So
you got to hope your mom dies so that you can buy a house.
You got to hope your mom has money. My parents dying isn't going to do shit for me, so I don't. It's not going to help. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I found 1,594 square feet. The song's only so long. We got to get going on the real estate report. House here. It says it's nice. It's got I don't know. It's okay. It's a nice house. It's not anything special. Yeah. It's a decent, nice, like kind of family house. $450,000.
Jesus Christ.
It's not worth that. I'm like, there's no way in my mind it's worth that. Found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,822 square foot house. This is very much like in the ad for it. It's like, take your golf cart and walk down to the beach, and like they're definitely going for a specific audience here. It's a decent house, very nice, new windows and shit like that. They're bragging about $605,000 though, which is a little pricey. And then, speaking of a little pricey, you have been on many, many erectile dysfunction commercials, and you're doing very well for yourself. 6-bedroom, 7-bath, 6,845 square feet.
My God.
They call it a compound in the thing here.
That's what it is.
There's a 5,000 square foot home and then another 1,800 square foot home, and they're both really nice, and like the grounds are nice. It's silly, this house. $2,500,000. So that's why you're going to pay. You're going to pay. Big time.
I can't imagine.
$2,500,000.
It must be nice to be able,
$500,000.
Pay those property taxes and shit
wild.
too. That's boy.
That's wild, man. Things to do here. The Long Doggers Beach Bash. Long Doggers, which sounds sexual and gross.
It does.
It really does. I long dogged her good, bro. And then you're like, ew. Don't tell me that.
Met a chick at the bar last night. Oh,
dude,
yeah?
Fucking took her home. Long dogged her good, buddy.
Long dogged the shit out of her.
You know what I'm talking about, right, pal? Yeah, I gave her like, ew, no, I'm disgusted.
That's what it should
this.
be called when you long stroke them. Long dogging.
Long dogging. The Long Dogger Beach Bash. So only the long doggers are allowed.
So when you pull it out to the tip, James, and then ram it right back in.
Oh, man. Jesus, that is horrifying. So there's multiple country bands I've never heard of playing here. I don't know. Parmalee? Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Good.
Parmalee.
They're popular. I would not say they're good.
Say, there you go. They have a lot of YouTube.
Not good.
They're really bragging about their YouTube views and shit on here. So that tells us a lot.
They oftentimes do.
And Sutherland, but spelled Southerland.
Oh.
Souther. They're even more souther than Florida. I don't know how much more souther you can get. But here they are. They're playing. So there's that. And then the Indialantic Craft Festival.
Fuck no.
Which we saw pictures of it. This is very specific. This is for like, you have to be like a 63 to 64-year-old woman, judging by the pictures, and make jewelry that has dolphins on it and shit. Like, that's what it's all like, teal and turquoise with
That is
dolphins.
shit you picked up off the beach.
Yeah, and there's like wind chimes and shit. It's very like beachy kitsch.
Joanne's be damned. We will make this out of what we find.
It's one of those deals. If you want earrings made out of seashells in the shape of a porpoise, you're in luck, because we have this.
I have the place for you.
I have something for you. If you don't want that stuff, maybe go to the farmer's market or go see Parmaland or whatever it is. Parmalee. Go see that.
Southerly.
Go see Parmland and Southerly over there and have some fun. And I don't know, buy a dolphin necklace off some fucking buddy's grandma, I guess. I have no clue what you're doing here. Crime rate.
Yeah. Fuck, I hate douche country.
Oh, yeah, I know you don't like the pop.
Oh, man.
It's not
anybody
good.
that likes
like
country generally, anybody that likes anybody that likes Waylon Jennings or Johnny Cash does not like this shit.
I would hope not.
And them
Jesus.
invoking their names in a song makes me want to strangle the hillbilly right out of them.
When I see these country guys and like they're wearing like fashionably ripped jeans and have gel in their hair and shit, and I'm like, Johnny Cash would cut you with a broken beer bottle. Do you understand that? And I would cheer him on, because this is ridiculous, you poser.
Johnny Cash never went to jail, but he would for fucking destroying your vocal cords with a broken Coors Light.
Yeah, exactly. So crime rate in this town, property crime, what we're interested in, crime in general, property crime exactly average. So right, like to the point, whatever, exactly average. And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is low here. It's about half. So
great, because they're old and they're happy.
Yeah, they're old. They're like, I don't feel like going all the way over there.
See what happiness does? I mean, you do things that cause happiness in a society, and people won't go hurt people or steal shit.
Also, just statistically, the violence curve goes way down with age is the other thing.
That too,
even serial killers stop killing people at the rate they do when they get older. You know, like you're just lazier. You know, it's all there is to your dick's not working from the other guy. It's a hard life out there.
It probably didn't work in the first place, and that's why you were frustrated and kill people.
And maybe that's part of it. Yeah, there's all sorts of factors. So,
right.
That said, let's talk about a murder.
All right.
Some factors that we need to discuss here that led up to that. Let's start out with talking about a woman, shall we? Let's do this. Let's talk about a young lady named Sheila Graham. Mm-hmm. Okay, Sheila Graham is born in 1965.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, well, I was going to say like just kind of the all-American girl, but she's like but she's Canadian, so you can't really say that. She's, I guess it's all-American, all-North American girl. I don't know. All Canadian girl, whatever.
Yeah, technically she's American.
That's what I mean. That's people always say that. They always point that out. They go, that's not the only country over there. And you go, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. It's a continent named America. That's okay.
Technically, Mexicans are Americans, too.
Well, yeah. To people in Asia, that's how they look at it. They don't look at it like... They don't separate it by that, or people in other continents. It's like in Europe. You're
Argentinians are Americans.
Yeah. You go, you're all European, and then they're next to each other going, I'm not one of them. You know, the countries with the sharing borders, like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. It's the same thing. But we're like, it's all Europe. And Romania's like, no, fuck the French. And, I don't know, Romania, France, pulled those two out of my ass, but you get what I'm saying. So Sheila Graham, born in 1965 in Canada, in Ontario. So she is a big swimmer growing up, loves the water, just a kid that wants nothing but water with her life. She's always been swimming. Her mother says that she should have been born with gills.
Okay.
Her mom, Sheila. She said that where she grew up, there's this lighthouse. It's in Penetanguishene Bay, Canada. Penetanguishene.
Jeez.
P-Bay, Florida, baby. That's what that is.
It is. Yeah.
It's P-Bay. P-Bay, Florida. She said that's where she loved the most. That's what, that's her soul right there. There's a lighthouse there, and as a kid, that's all she wanted to go. She
Likely
said that
a native word, right?
I guess, yeah, I
You'd
assume.
have to assume.
Either that or somebody had some kind of sense of humor on him, I guess. I can name it anything I want? Anything. Really? All right. He wrote that down, handed it to someone, and they were like, "Oh, you're a dick. Come on, Bill. This is...
We got to put this on a sign, man.
We want people to come here. They can't even tell people. No one's going to know how to walk. Jesus Christ. Does this mean... No, it doesn't even mean anything? You made it up? God damn it. Bill's a dick. So she said that her mother said this is where she learned to swim, and it was her favorite place in the whole world. So she grew up there, swimming, being in the water, should have had gills, blah, blah,
Natural
blah.
water.
Natural.
She wasn't like on a pool. She's like swimming in Canada water that's fucking
cold all the time.
17 degrees.
I was going to say, in the week and a half a year that it's warm enough to swim in this water. Every year, that 1 week, she spent it all in the water and then just thought about it all year, all off season. You got to be pretty hardy otherwise if you want to swim outside of a certain range in Florida. So she then, when she's in college, she moves down to Florida, down to Brevard County to study oceanography.
That's a good place to do it.
Very studious, and you want to study it. Yeah, that's warm down there. You can always be in the water. And she wanted to live in the Florida coast, or on the Florida coast, in it, I guess. I don't know. You'd say, I don't know, whatever. So she wanted to live there, and she becomes a diving instructor during college to pay for college, or to help, get extra money for college. So
like scuba diving.
I don't know if it's scuba diving or like Rodney Dangerfield, Triple Lindy, or I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not sure if back to school. I hope Rodney trained her. That would have been the best thing ever. Let me show you something, sweetheart. All right, this will teach you how to get the fish. There we go. We interested in oceanography? I got something down here in my ocean. You know what I'm saying? I swim through everything. Oh, all right, honey.
I love that they told him, go get your suit on, and he goes and gets... Like that 1920s thing.
Oh yeah, like a bathing suit he got, like a. It has
Not
a goddamn
like a Speedo
tank top,
with shorts and the whole thing. It's hilarious.
Tennis shorts and tank top, like he's going to the beach in the 20s when women used to wear like pants.
It's pretty awesome.
It's good. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping, you got a car payment due, there's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
So, anyway, fast forward to late 80s now. Well, not fast forward. We're there. She's in college.
Right.
Finishes up college. She's been a diving instructor. She's in the ocean, swimming around, doing all of her thing here. She meets a young woman who she becomes good friends with. And this friendship will last for years on and off. One of those friendships that, they can lose touch for a while and then gain touch again and get right back
it's like into it. Happened.
Yeah, so that's common back in the day, especially before you could keep track of people like you can now.
Oh, yeah. Now it's like if you don't see somebody for 10 years, you've seen them every day for 10 years.
And they're like, what the fuck? You don't say hi? It's like, I see everything you do.
I know
everything.
How old your kids are. I don't even have to ask.
I know all of them, and your son is ugly. I'm sorry. He's going to be he better be smart is all I'm saying, because
I've seen every birthday he's ever had.
He needs to be very successful if he's going to do any well in the world, because it's bad for him.
Right.
Yeah, I don't get it. But back then, somebody could move to a different apartment and change phone numbers, and then that's it. The thing is broken. They lost the slip of paper that yours was on, and then
now there's no relationship.
That's it. You have to run into them somewhere.
And we got to start over.
All over. Oh my God, there you are.
What's your mom's name again?
Oh, Jesus Christ. You had kids, right? Oh, the ugly one. Yeah, the son that's ugly. That's right.
Is he still ugly?
You. Is he still? Oh, I mean, yeah, it's not great, but kind of better than I thought it was going to be, if I'm being honest. Could be worse.
More years, that'll fit.
So she meets Kelly Brennan, who's around her age, and she's a nursing student. So they're both students. They're both, busy young girls doing stuff, young ladies, and, they become friends. Sheila, at the time when they meet, she has just gotten married, and so that's her different. She's got kind of a different life than Kelly. Kelly's a nursing student. Sheila eventually takes on 3 jobs. 3 jobs to put her husband, Daniel, through flight school. He wants to be an airline pilot.
Wow.
Which in the late 80s was still like a job that people strived for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was not that it's a bad job, but people now, that industry is very up and down, and the salaries go up and down. So
yeah, but it's also predominantly, I think it's dominated mostly by people that were in the Air Force.
In the Air Force.
Fighter jets and shit.
Yeah,
you can't
because...
You can't quit you can't work your way through flight school as a fucking server.
No, that's tough. You have to really. It takes forever because the amount of flight hours you have to get a license and then a commercial. It's insane. So you really can't have job. You do it for 10 years. Right. Otherwise, it would take to get it. But yeah, it's that is true though. You see those you see some flat topped. I don't even care, man or woman. You see him with a flat top looking all military, and you're like, oh, they're bored flying this plane probably. They're like, let's spin it around a couple of times and make it a fucking challenge. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is boring. I just flying from here to there, no maneuvers, no anything. All right, well, I guess, yeah. You know, that's what you want.
This time?
Yeah, that's what you want. Somebody bored by this whole thing, not like, okay, we're going to do this. You don't want that person. All these hours leading up to this. Okay, it's all right. All these people's lives are in your hand. Just calm.
That is why when the pilot comes on the intercom, he sounds bored as fuck because there's nobody chasing him, nobody shooting.
It's like,
we're just going straight. This is dumb.
Gonna fly over to there. Shouldn't have any problems. Not like anyone's gonna shoot at us or anything.
Yeah,
That's pretty boring. And
enjoy your flight, I guess. And
they told me no barrel rolls. Okay,
but I guess we're doing 500 miles an hour, so I guess that should be enough of a thrill for me.
So woohoo! If only I could crack a window. Have a good one, everybody. See you in Dallas.
We're gonna do 500 miles an hour, which is approximately 400 miles an hour slower than I'm used to.
Yeah, it's just a kind of a
don't
kind
get
of
out
a
of
dog.
your fucking seat, you selfish cunts.
Just kind of driving this big dog here. That's all. Lame. All right. Enjoy your drinks, assholes.
I gotta get off this intercom so I can go back to sleep.
Yeah. Now, Sheila's husband is Daniel. Daniel Trott. So she takes his name, becomes Sheila Trott. Okay. So Daniel Trott, Trott, double T, 3 T's out of 5 letters. That's a lot. Daniel, I got the Trotts. Here he is. So Daniel, one of his friends said he's an upwardly mobile kind of guy.
Yeah.
As everybody said. He likes to be the center of attention, everybody says, and he's a little kind of narcissistic is kind of the way people think. He's a pilot. If you want to be a pilot, there's a certain, as we know, like we've talked about before, if you're going to be like a fighter pilot back in the day, they wanted narcissistic people. They wanted
your God's gift.
Yes, they wanted people that you would never want to like date your daughter or whatever, but you know, because they're really narcissistic, or date whoever, but you don't want, you know, you want them to fly because they got balls. So
also, it sounds like he's a guy that's like proud of himself when he should be proud of the woman that he married, who's giving him every opportunity in the world.
But he likes people to think that he's hot shit. That's his whole thing. He's an important guy. Yeah, he's one of those guys. You know, we all know those guys who have to feel a little more important than they are. And I don't get them, but whatever. Seems like a lot of work to craft that, doesn't it? Like to craft a persona, it's like that's too much. It's too much.
To be that proud of yourself, like
where everybody, God, you have to build this up. Oh, I'm so good at. Shut the fuck up. Let people know you suck. It's a thin line
between arrogance and confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always just let people know you suck, and then they'll be surprised when something good happens. They'll be happy with you. You know, when you pronounce someone's weird name right, they're so excited about it because they never thought it was going to happen.
Set the bar mad low.
Yeah, that's what we got to do here, you know? That's how it works. So, but he's a tall, handsome guy, wants to be a pilot, and, you know, Sheila digs him because he's got a charisma to him. So there's that. One of her friends said she was just all over, loved him right away, never seen her, you know, react like that to dating anybody. She's showing people pictures of him. Look at this. I like, you know, when you find the one there, and then she found the one. And everybody was like, well, they're going to be getting married if she has anything to do with it, because she is locked in on this. And he was like a fun guy too. They were, you know, they like to do things together, exercise and do shit and ride their bikes on the beach. Okay. And everybody said they seemed like the perfect couple. They seemed like they're both attractive. They're both ambitious.
But they're on this show, so you know something's not right.
Well, something's going to happen to somebody. We know. Yeah. We've introduced 3 characters, and I'll guarantee one thing: not all of them will make it to the end of the show out of these 3. So make it like Clue. At some point, the lights are going to go out, and someone's not going to be here anymore. So who do you think it's going to be? So they're doing well together. They get married on August 26th, 1989. Yep. They end up with 2 sons as well. We'll talk about in a few minutes because they come up pretty prominently later. Sheila becomes a real estate agent, which for, you know, an outwardly social, smart person, it's a great job, especially in Florida. There's always things happening. This was, too, at the time, early 90s is when people were moving to Arizona and Florida in droves. So this is kind of a big deal here. And finally, that year as well, I think 1990, Daniel gets a job as an airline pilot as well.
Okay.
A commercial airline. So
nailed it.
The whole thing, their whole plans they're all working out. Marriage, he's a pilot, she's a real estate agent. It's what she wants to do, it's what he wants to do. They start having kids in 92.
Happiness abound.
Can't beat it. 92, they have a son named Creighton. Is that his name? Yeah, Creighton. Creighton is his name.
EIGH or AYTON?
EIGHTON, like the college that's in the tournament every few years.
Hell yeah.
That place. Yeah. Like, what did we discover? You had a...
Oh, I went there.
You went to junior high. Yeah, not to the college, as we discovered on the show. I said Creighton, like the college, and Jimmie went, I went there, and I went,
no,
you didn't.
said like the school, and I was like, yeah I went there.
Yeah, the school, like the college.
I didn't know that there was a college.
And I was like, no, you did not.
Yeah,
I was so offended
school,
that you were trying to claim a college education. I was like, your ass. Your ass, Jimmie. You don't even...
7th and 8th grade, I went to Creighton.
Yeah, exactly. We found out that's a middle school in Phoenix, so we were very confused. So 94, they have a son named Graham as well. And I can't remember which is which, but one of them has terrible hair genetics. Just an awful. Remember, one of them is like 18 years old and already shaves his head because he's really receding badly, and you're like, oh,
it's not
bro,
a choice. He has to.
Oh, you're 18, bro. Like, what happened? Did you get sick, or like were you exposed to like radium or
that's
something?
Right.
What's
He
going
has
on?
eyebrows, so everything's fine.
Yeah,
it's
that's what I mean.
fine.
No, it's just, but it's not on top of his head. It's not fine.
Not fine at all.
I felt so bad for the kid because you know, that's tough. If you're 18,
it's brutal, man.
You're like, fuck, I don't feel 18 if I'm worried about my hair. When you're 18, you're not worried. Were you worried about your hair when you were 18? No.
I mean, I was worried when I met my grandfather.
But at 18, your thoughts weren't like, you weren't looking in the mirror going, shit, God damn it. More?
I mean, I used to cut it all the way down, too. I had that fucking stupid Caesar thing.
Yeah, you look like an idiot.
Did.
No,
but
funny.
I mean, I cut it down real low, but I had a good hairline, and it came down. It looked great. I had 3 years to go before it started to not look great.
At least you had those 3 years, though. This kid never had those 3 years. He never did. He couldn't make himself a Caesar, Jimmie. He was
poor bastard. No,
impossible. No Caesar for him.
Baby duck hair up there.
That was tough, man. So they were they're two sons, 2 years apart, and by the time they're adults here, 16 and 18, so we're talking 2010 at this point in time, the sons are living at home, and along with Ariel Hansen, who is Graham's girlfriend. They're both 16 years old. So there's something going on.
Florida.
That says a lot of Florida there. I feel like, you know, Casey Anthony rents out the guest house here or some shit. Like, it's a very Florida situation. You know, it's one of those deals.
My ex-wife's uncle in Florida moved a 19-year-old into their house. He is 43.
Oh, no, sir.
And he has a wife, and they were trying to throuple it up.
My God.
Trash.
First of all, I hope he's in sales, number one. I'll just say that, because the gamesmanship you would need to display for that. You got to be able to sell anything to anybody.
Clearly the salesman of the month wherever the fuck he works, but he's in sales.
You know, he can sell shit to the Roto-Rooter man, this guy. Like he
can sell a middle-aged couple to a 19-year-old as a throuple. He's crushing it.
Well, that's selling both sides, and they're selling both sides different things. So you have to, it's not just one pitch. This guy is, wow, he's good. He's selling people like Corvettes they can't afford and shit. They're like, this guy, he just made it sound like I can't not have one. I don't know what
he said, take out my 401k. It'll be fine.
Seemed like a good idea. I don't know. But whenever because we all know when we're teenagers, and maybe you grew up in that house because a lot of these were my friends' houses, that, you know, the 16-year-old was allowed to have their boyfriend or girlfriend living in the same house with them. And they're like, well, they sleep in separate rooms.
Yeah,
that's not
everybody
enough.
I know that had that happening, where they were like young and their just whatever boyfriend or girlfriend lived with them. They're all a fucking mess today. Every last one of them.
Yeah, well, probably. Yeah, I would assume. I don't know how they wouldn't be.
4 or 5 people that did that.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
parents
tons
allowed
of people.
it, and they were just they're all gross.
I know someone whose parents not only allowed. Never mind a woman, full-grown men who like sold drugs to move into the house. Like Satanic Bill can move into the Like, no, Satanic Bill cannot move into the basement. That's a bad parenting decision. It just is. Mom, this is Satanic Bill. He'd like to move in. No, I met him at the carnival. He was working there, and he's decided that he'd like to take a bit of a sabbatical from the carnival for a while they head upstate, and we're going to stay. No, the fuck out of here with that.
You're not even welcome for dinner. I'm going to be honest with you. The fuck out of my house.
No shit, man. So they all live there, and they, my God. Now, Sheila has been a vegetarian since the 9th grade.
Oh?
So there's that. Yeah, she's been since the 9th grade, she's been a vegetarian, and she likes to garden and grow shit and eat it and grow roses and stuff like that. So she's very healthy, and Daniel's very healthy too. He likes to, bike all the time and stuff like that. They're very like healthy, like energetic people.
Sure.
These people. I can't relate to this at all.
No.
Everything they're saying is like, I grow a nice vegetarian diet. I grow my own vegetables, and I bike on the weekends. Like, wow. Holy shit.
I envy your energy. I suppose that comes from greens because I don't fucking have it.
I'd like to grow some weed so I can smoke it and then sit and not run it anywhere. That's what I'm going for at this moment in time. We have different goals, Trots and me. So she's going by Sheila Graham Trott at this point, by the way. She's hyphenating up. Yeah. So Daniel, he's really got ambitions, this guy. And what are the 2 most narcissistic jobs? We've said a pilot is one of them. What's another one? And besides doctor,
like Instagram influencer,
that you would get an actual job where you actually have to show up at work and do something, not where you fuck off and finger your asshole for fucking while people look at you. No. I know that's OnlyFans. I'm saying on Instagram, they're not seeing you finger your asshole. Right. It's below the camera line. On
some
OnlyFans,
of them are.
Some of them are, but
there are some
right.
people who do some gross shit on Instagram. I don't know, James.
It's a politician, Jimmie. What else would you want to be? Like, I think so highly of myself. I should be in charge of things. I should tell other people how they should live their lives better and how society can work better because I know.
Figure it out for you.
I know things, yeah. So we should have to like force politicians into service. Like, should be a law. You know, like in Israel, you have to serve in the army. When you're 18, they hand you a gun. You're in the army. Period. That's it. We should have a thing where selective service, but for politics. Like we have the selective services, and you sign up for that, but for politics. And at any point, there's like a panel or something. I don't know how we're going to do the choosing, but at some point, we're just going to pull smart people out of the world and be like, you're doing this for 5 fucking years. We need people who aren't morons or people that aren't I'm not talking about CEOs and people trying to fly to space and shit like that. I'm talking, we have an engineer on the 3rd floor who does such a good job. We're just going to stick him. You're the senator from Wisconsin now. Enjoy. That's what we're doing now with you. Sorry. You're there. 5 years. It's your that or prison. Those are your options. I'm sorry.
This marketing guy is a genius. I'll tell you what. He is mayoral candidate for sure. It's happening. Whether he likes it or not.
He is. I'm telling you, he's going to be mayor.
Like jury duty.
He does a great job. He's really analytical. I think he's the guy.
You know what?
Or she's the lady. I don't fucking care.
Let
Whoever.
it be dummies too, James. Who gives a shit at this point?
Well,
because they're all dummies
that's
anyway.
What we have. That's what we get all the time. We get dummies who know how to stoke other dummies' fucking passions. That's not what we need. We don't need that.
We have though are interested in making something for themselves. Let's have dummies that have zero interest in this be the fucking the mine inspector or whatever.
But but the loudest voices are the dummies, and they're getting what they want anyway. We need someone who loud and loud and loud, and they look back and forth to both sides and go, "Shut the fuck up! I'm working. Busy people working. You fucking morons. Shut the fuck up."
Trying to draw CAD design over here.
Jesus
you
Christ.
fucking loud bastards. That's
You
it. I'm
fucking
going to be
idiots.
mayor.
That's what we need. It's that guy.
Yeah.
So, T-ball for every b-hole, everybody. So that lady, I keep saying guy, but I don't care.
matter.
I don't
Yeah.
fucking care who does it. I don't give a shit what you are. Just do it right. So, anyway, he becomes mayor of Indialantic. Daniel does. He's the mayor of this town. So,
The
I don't know what you...
stereotypical, he's the mayor.
Yeah, he's the mayor, but really, they actually gets like a salary and everything and has an office and stuff. And so 2002 to 2006, he's the mayor of this town, which is...
Ran a whole term.
Ran a whole term.
Did the whole thing.
It's
no
wild.
impeachment, stuck
then
around.
Yeah, then he's good and popular, and everybody likes him. And he, she's in real estate. He's the mayor. Like, this couple is very,
First elected
moving.
position is mayor?
Mayor. Well, I mean, it's a mayor of a small town. That's where you
Yeah,
start.
but it's still pretty impressive.
You have to have some charisma at least to be
Yeah.
elected mayor. You don't have to be the most skilled person, but you have to at least be able to draw a crowd. Have people give a shit about what you're saying. So that helps.
But generally, you start at like treasurer of HOA.
If you're serious, but if you're like a pilot who he doesn't want to do math and paperwork
No,
and
doesn't
shit.
have time for that shit.
He wants to cut a ribbon. We're going to open this now. Hey, there we go, and shake some hands, and then get free drinks. That's what I think he's looking for here.
I'm off to dig one scoop with a golden shovel. Be back.
I'll be back in a minute here. And they're doing well financially. They're well to do. Good social circles, they're obviously he's the mayor, so they're extremely popular. And it's around this time we'll talk about Kelly Brennan again. Remember our nursing student, Kelly Brennan? Well, she's married as well. Okay. She has married a man named Gino Rollo. Yeah, old Gino here. Kelly's a nurse, and Gino's a restaurant manager.
Hell yeah.
And he looks like a restaurant manager. Yeah. He just looks like... He looks like he'd like yell at you for getting like an escargot to the table late and do this and what the fuck, and you want to go do a line like in the next line. You know what I mean? Like that's what he looks like.
He would grab fettuccine off a plate and throw it in the server's face and say, "Did it hurt? It's because it's hard. You left it in the window.
You left it in the window. What's wrong with you? Ding ding. You hear that?
Hot food, go.
There you go. Now let's go do lines in the bathroom because that's every restaurant I've ever worked at. Everybody's just trying to get everybody else in the bathroom to do lines. It's fucking cocaine whack-a-mole when you work at a restaurant. So we don't know that Gino Rollo was. I'm just, this is all based on experience of ours.
Assumption.
So, now Kelly, she's a nurse. She's gone to nursing school and she's become a nurse.
Finish this, she's doing it.
She likes the outdoors. She likes kayaking. Yeah. So, I mean, she's an active person. She also has MS as well, multiple sclerosis. So that's difficult, obviously, because that's a very up and down disease. If you don't know anybody who has MS, my stepfather has MS, so I know it pretty well. He's had it for a long time, and it's some days he's fine. He can do stuff just fine, and then there's some days where you could see it on his face where every step hurts, and you see his hand is not is cramped up and in a tough position, and he gets these terrible cramps at night, and it's fucking horrible, man. It really is.
There are quote unquote good days, and then what the fuck days. And they're shocking because you think that like, oh my God, this is the day that everything's over. I'm in a wheelchair. And then the next day you wake up and it's like, it's not that bad.
He says it's terrible and it's a really difficult thing. And one of the things that helps is keeping active and exercising a lot because he runs and does all that shit to try to keep.
And he lives in Phoenix, right?
Yeah, he lives in Phoenix. Yeah, so
he triggers it and he's here. That's bananas.
Yeah, well, he had other problems too that kind of were into that some shit. But anyway, she has MS, which is difficult, and probably make her a really empathetic nurse too, though. Helpful if she to have some kind of affliction here, but she didn't let that bother her at her job at all. They said she was still just as into her patients and just as committed at work. And one of her coworkers said, sometimes it would flare up, but she would just work right through it and try not to say anything about it. And that's how she would get through it, was put her nose down and work harder.
Don't acknowledge it, just kick its ass. Yeah.
That's it. That's all you can do. So Kelly and Sheila are friends at this point as well. And, they're buddies. And she would say later on, Sheila would tell somebody, we had the type of friendship where we wouldn't see each other for 4 or 5 years, and then something would bring us together. she hosted parties, and Kelly was kind of the center of attention. She said she was a great girl, and she liked to hang out with her. And there's plenty of pictures of them at parties together, and shit like that. Lots of glasses, lots of cocktails and that sort of shit. So January 2009 comes around, and apparently Sheila is not as thrilled with Dan as she used to be.
Oh no.
I think the
novelty's worn off of this shit.
I think, the bud is off the political rose here, and it's the electoral rose, and she's not too thrilled with him. I'm not sure how she thought about his mayoral skills, but she's not happy with him as a husband. I know that much. So one of the things, I'll give her the quote here. She says, quote, "He began having affairs."
Oh.
That's a problem. Yeah. That's going to be a problem in most marriages, unless you're that guy who can talk his wife and having a 19-year-old live with him.
Staggering,
what
right?
What the hell is he thinking? First of all, why would you want that, number one?
Right.
Why would you want that? I can't. No. And this goes for men or women. One person is hard enough to have a relationship. Not that it's difficult, but one person is, that's a relationship. And there's enough friction and things that can happen in the world. You're going to add someone else into this mix? Are you kidding me?
The funniest part about it, James, he used to drag her around to family functions, and she would just stand in the corner.
I was going to say, for what? Did they feed her on the floor like a dog or something? Throw scraps down from their plates?
They didn't acknowledge
it.
They just people are who's seen? It's who?
Our friend.
Don't
That's
look.
Our
she's
friend.
not there.
What?
Just somebody we're helping out. They'd say.
What the fuck, man?
What are you talking about,
dude? That's so creepy. And what was her story? Was she?
I don't look. I'm not asking shit. I want
that's true. I wouldn't know anything.
Fast. It was so uncomfortable. I didn't want to be you guys realize how fucking weird this is, right? Because they knew.
This was a long time ago? This was a while ago?
I haven't been married for 3 years, and it was probably 3-4 years before that. So, yeah, it's been a minute.
Oh, my God. Not too. Wow. Okay. Oh, my God.
Long enough to where it's it's not so far away that it wasn't fucking super creepy.
It's you can't just go, well, it was the 80s. I don't know. People were weird. You can't just blame it on an era or a decade. You can't just do that. You can't just, if you had, a butterfly collar on or something. Well, it's 1974. What do you want? This is...
Never heard of Haight-Ashbury. It was a weird time.
I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, what Manson says sounds crazy now. Yeah, of course, Charles Manson's shit sounds great. At the time, it sounded pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
This was fuck, man.
Sounded logical.
Michael Jackson was dead. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah, that's too late. That's too late. If Michael Jackson's dead, it's just too late for that.
Way too recent.
Now, January 2009, like I said, he's having affairs, which is going to be an issue in most marriages, as we got to. She said, quote, "I would notice his ring on the counter. He wasn't wearing his ring." She'd say, "We need to talk," and he would, quote, "swear and cuss at me." So there's that.
Don't you fucking worry about it. I'm leaving this ring here.
He's out banging around, and she's not happy about it, and
he's doing it right in her face. That's the obvious part.
Yeah, they all kind of know each other in that town, so he's probably, who knows who he's doing this with, and this is honestly, a pilot who has to be mayor and all that kind of thing. I hate to say it's a stereotype, but it's kind of like a stereotype of the guy who is never satisfied with women. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's looking to trade in for younger models and shit like that.
What a weird thing.
It's almost an image thing to him. It's not even about, that's the weird part about someone who's narcissistic like that. It's not about them liking someone and being happy. It's about how does this person make me look? Do I look better? Is this it's an image thing. It's really fucking weird. They're all Instagram people. They're all Instagram
Yeah, they all
influencers.
need constant approval.
Yeah, it's very fucked up. So it's strange shit. Now, he denied it. He was denying. He said, "I didn't fucking do anything." And, what do you want here? So she just says, "Well, I want a divorce then. I'm done with this shit. You're going to fuck around on me. I'm not going to stay here." So she wants a divorce, and she throws him out of the house. That's it. She tosses him out, and, is tired of having him there. So then it's just her and the two boys and the 16-year-old's girlfriend living there now. Dan goes and gets himself it has to be a sad 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he got, because it's an apartment, and it's one of those apartments that has like a bunch of divorced dudes in it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those sad places. A pool that no one uses. Just
I lived in one. Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We all know
they had
those
barbecue
places.
grills everywhere, and none of them worked.
No, of course not.
A bunch of single dudes, and nobody would fix one. Come on,
they're
guys.
like, I don't know, whatever.
Somebody do us all a favor.
I don't have enough. I just don't have enough in me to even cook. That's the guys are just like, I don't know.
Will to wake up.
Yeah, I'm stopping it. Arby's? Fuck it. Who cares? That'll hurt me. Good. I deserve pain. That's what it is. This is all my fault. So her marriage is falling apart. Sheila's marriage to Dan is falling apart. So she decides that Sheila and Kelly need to go out for a girls' night out.
Yeah.
Girls' night. Let's flush all this out of our systems and have some fun and pretend, it's a simpler time. So they're talking after a little while, and after a little while, Sheila realizes that Kelly's marriage isn't so great at this moment either.
Oh.
That's kind of falling apart too.
Commiserate about this.
Yeah, they're commiserating about it. She would say later on, quote, she made up, this is Sheila saying about Kelly, quote, she made a point of saying that she wouldn't care if Gino had an affair, which I thought was a really strange thing to say.
Yeah.
So she was like she said Kelly was beyond the point of even caring what her husband did anymore. She didn't give a shit. So there was that. So that's really...
She wouldn't care, like she would encourage it so that she would have a reason to leave, something like that.
I don't know. That's what it's. I think it's probably 6 of 1 at that point, because it's. Right. I think if you want that, if you wouldn't care, I think it's that way you can just be like,
right,
oh,
then
good.
You got
now
out.
It's
right.
Yeah, and then you don't even feel like you gave up on anything. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm not sure. Who knows what's in someone's psyche when they're in a bad marriage like that? Everybody's
brutal, man.
Everybody's situation is worse. And or is different, and some worse than others. Mm-hmm. So Dan's living in a 1-bedroom apartment here, and he joins a cycling club.
Oh yeah,
bicycling, because he's got that's what he does here.
Those guys.
Yeah, they all were in different cycling clubs from time to time when they have time, but now he's going to join this, and just a guy trying to stay in shape or something, I guess here. And this particular cycling group is the same one where Kelly Brennan is a member as well.
You son of a bitch.
So, Sheila's friend Kelly. And after a while, they seem to spend a little more time together than just bike rides at this moment. Becomes a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Sheila would later say, quote, Dan and Kelly were both lying to everybody, saying they weren't having an affair. And and while this whole thing was going on, I was having my problems with Dan. He was just being very belligerent. Ugh. So the whole time she finds out that they're having problems and he's leaving his ring behind and they're fighting, and she's talking to Kelly about her problems and they're commiserating, Kelly's been banging her husband is what she thinks here. So this is this is tough. I mean, this is to be betrayed by your spouse is one thing, but then to be betrayed by your spouse with your friend who you've been friends with for 20 fucking years is that now who are you going to tell about that you got fucked over? Who are you going to go cry to now? You've lost that. So that's
How
tough.
do you even open that door with your wife's friend though? Like what a scummy thing to do.
That's a ballsy first move for somebody.
Yeah. What do you want to bet he said something gross like, that's illegal? And she's like, what's that? On a bike ride. And he's like, peddling pussy. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, I mean, someone had to make...
It was some cheesy mayoral dumb shit joke.
Some hacky fucking airline pilot joke. Some hacky peanut material he's had stored away for a couple of years.
Yeah. Fold you in a pretzel or some shit.
Yeah, that's a ballsy first move, though. Think about that.
Truly. To try to fuck your wife's friend? That's scummy.
Someone had to make a physical first move, and that's risky for either of them. Whoever made it, what if the other person was like, oh, my God, get away from, wow, you're in trouble now.
Though, is certainly documented right there in that he's... Because there's a certain level of go fuck yourself to your spouse when you're banging their friends. You're obviously out to hurt them or to get back at them for whatever reason.
Yeah, you don't fucking care anymore. And
right.
Early 2010, there's some emails from Sheila to Dan here where she's pissed at him, and she's laying it on the line and saying, listen, you got to make some decisions here.
Yeah.
And says one says she's got to start being accountable for the responsibilities you've taken on and start a clean life, or stay with the filth you've chosen with Kelly. The filth you've chosen with Kelly, because she says, I'll just read her quote here. Quote, start being accountable for the responsibilities you've taken on and start a clean life, or stay with the filth you've chosen with Kelly, because as we all know, that relationship is destined to thrive.
Sarcasm.
Oof. Dripping with sarcasm. Dripping. The whole rest of the thing is all very sarcastic and all this shit. Quote, you decided it was more fun screwing a good friend and a good friend's wife, and you got called out for screwing your friend's wife, and now you're upset about it. And she's upset, as anybody would fucking be upset, I would think. So January 8th, 2010 at 9:22 a.m. This is an email from Sheila to Gino Rollo.
Oh.
Now, this is Kelly's husband.
Yeah.
She is sending messages to. She says, there's a lot I know that you will never know and can't imagine in this letter. In this email.
He knows what that means. He just may as well just say it.
Well, the next line, she makes it a little clearer. If Kelly does choose to leave you and go with him, meaning Dan, who the fuck else is she? I would hope it's Dan.
Yeah.
Unless Kelly's got more boyfriends out there. It will be the biggest mistake of her life. Kelly has known him less than a year. She's still in the honeymoon period, which I guarantee won't last long. She's in for several, and this is all capitals, very big surprises. And then she says that, quote, I am not, nor have I ever been crazy. I just know how to get things done. I don't know.
Crazy.
She went from fucking, she's in for several very big surprises. I'm not, nor have I ever been crazy. I just know how to get things done. What the fuck does that mean?
She's Heath Ledger in the Dark Knight. I'm not crazy, but I will blow things up.
And her correspondences are just as strange and odd and off in a weird way. There's something off about him. So February 2010, they are separated, Kelly and Gino. They get separated in February 2010.
Oh,
Kelly moved. Now everybody's living. Now we have 4 separate residences with 2 couples. Crazy. So Kelly moves out of the residence with her husband Gino and is living with her friend Stephanie Ferris. So there we go. There she moves in with a friend. Everybody, she's going to do the air mattress thing, everybody, and start the fuck over, but not really start over, because she's also banging Mayor Dan. So there's a lot going on.
She's already started while she was ending.
Yeah, there's a whole lot happening here.
Jesus.
So Rollo and Brennan here, it's Kelly and Gino here. They are going through a divorce, and she's still seeing Dan, and apparently they got into a bit of a physical altercation, Gino and Kelly, when Kelly decided she was leaving. Gino didn't like that, tossed her around a little bit. There was some domestic physicality, which is never good in any capacity. So, at this point, Gino's pissed. Yeah. Because it was one thing to have all this speculated, but now she's leaving. So now it's real. You know what I'm saying? Now it's really real, and he is super pissed off, mostly at Dan.
Really?
He's real fucking mad at Dan. He is pissed, as you can imagine. By the way, everybody listening to this right now, with every paragraph I read, you're like, oh, that person's going to kill this person. Oh, this person's going to kill that. Oh, that person's going to kill this person. Because that's how I was with this whole story.
Right now.
Everybody has reason to kill everybody. That's the thing right now. Like, everyone has a motive for murder at this point. It's who's going to twitch first.
Dan's kids are going to kill them all.
Yeah, it's all the bald one. He's so angry with his baldness, he can't take it anymore.
And his girlfriend.
And his girlfriend, yeah. No, I think the bald one was the one without the girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think the 16-year-old, which, I mean, he might be in for bad hair times as well. We don't know.
True.
So,
why do guys always do that? Though, take the rage out on the guy that's banging your wife, knowing that she's married. Why don't you just be like, get out of my house? Then you're clearly not in this. Like, it's not, dudes. And it's the same way with girls.
It's an
too.
instinct. Rossi, right. Janice Rossi, you're nothing but a horse. Superintendent. Is this the superintendent? You have a whore living in your building. 2R, Rossi, Janice Rossi. Do you hear me? Get your own goddamn man. Yeah, it goes both ways. It just happens. People freak out, and I don't know why that is, where you're like, he's mine or she's mine. You should go there, but that's the person you have an agreement with.
Right.
That's a third party.
And they've broken your agreement. Get rid of them.
It's a third party that you shouldn't be mad at. I mean, you can be mad at them, but I think save most of your rage for the person who is lying to you that you're supposed to be married. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmie had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Married to you. Yeah. So Gino is, he's Kelly, or Jesus Christ, Sheila. There's so many people. Sheila's mad, and so she keeps contacting Gino and telling him more about it and more about it. And finally, this culminates with Gino being so mad that he apparently, or allegedly, or whatever, went over to Dan Trott's apartment and had a little talking to with him, let's just say. Let's have Daniel's quote from the time tell the story. Great. Quote, he physically broke through the door and assaulted me. So, Gino came over, kicking in the door and whooping Dan's ass, or trying to whoop whatever, punching on Dan while Dan's sitting on his couch eating his fucking Hungry Man. This is just... This is a mess.
Mashed his handicaps in his face.
Take that. You're going to find the pork in this pork and beans. Look closer.
Beat him with a hot pocket.
Yeah, take that. I know the barbecue ones are delicious. Keep eating.
What is it, ham and cheese, you pussy?
Pussy. The barbecue ones are delicious. I don't know what that meat is.
Yeah.
It's gray and weird, and I have no idea. But the barbecue sauce in it is pretty goddamn tasty, and it's just good. To be honest
with you, James, I'm partial to the meatball one.
Oh, Jimmie,
I
you're
love
hurting me. You're hurting me, Jimmie. That
it's
hurts.
So good.
That hurts. I will eat the pepperoni pizza one, though, because it's nothing like pepperoni or pizza. It's just greasy and tasty.
My daughter loves them because she can make them. So she'll, and I'll smell food. And I'm like, who's making food? We're about to eat dinner. And then my daughter's like, I just ate. What'd you eat? I ate 2 boxes of Hot Pockets.
I ate 4 of them. It's what happens, though. You can't help it.
It's 4 in the afternoon, you asshole.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
Don't worry, I'll eat again.
I'll eat more. I'll have more Hot Pockets later. Don't sweat
are you going to make Hot Pockets? I already did it.
I already got them. Taken care of. There's no more left. Yeah, look in there. You got to go to the store. So February 15th, 2010 comes around. Things are clearly coming to a head with everybody.
This is a mess.
This is a mess. So, husband's assaulting wife. People are assaulting affairs. It's a disaster. Everybody's mad. There's angry emails flying around. It's not going well here. So she says at this point, this night, February the 15th, Sheila's at home, and the boys are at home with her, and Ariel Hansen's there as well, the girlfriend of her youngest son. And she tells Ariel Hansen that she needs to make a quick trip to the old Walmart here to, I just got to pick up a few things. I got to go to Walmart. She leaves for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then comes home with nothing from Walmart. Like no Walmart bags, like nothing with a happy face on it or any of that shit. So that's 2010 they had that, right? The happy face.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. They had it
I was trying to, I'm like, what was their shit back then that they were marketing to? So, she comes home with no Walmart bags, which 4 or 5 hours at Walmart, even if you hate Walmart, you'd find something to buy. You know?
Yeah.
You get like new tires or a fishing pole or something. You'd come home with like 2 tires, a fishing pole, like a picnic table, and I don't know.
Some Ozark Trail shit.
I don't know. I got some of that. I got the family size.
That breaks the second time you unfold it.
Oh, absolutely. It's all one user. One user.
Single use shit.
And a giant, like, family-size 17-pound box of Lucky Charms. I got all of it. It's all here for us. But she doesn't do that. Okay. She returned with nothing.
Empty-handed after 4 hours. Wow.
I mean, and looked like she'd been through a harrowing ordeal. Like she had gone to Walmart and tried to shop, but my God, it was just overrun with Syrian refugees or something that were fleeing. Not even like they lived there and they were still running away, and they ran through the store and just knocked things over because there's thousands of people and they're fleeing.
For 4 hours, she did a Black Friday sale and came up empty-handed. Every aisle she went to get empty.
Hair out of sorts and shit. Like, woof, man, it's tough out there. So, Sheila left her house about 6 or 7, saying, I got to go to Walmart. And then, never came home at like 11 o'clock with no Walmart. And Kelly Brennan that night, on the other hand, she is supposed to do a session with her personal trainer at 9 p.m. that night, but she doesn't show up at all. Oh. So they're like, okay, well, that's weird. She's usually there for her exercise, but I mean, people don't show up. Maybe she had an MS flare up, and I don't know.
Check Walmart. The lines are long tonight.
Yeah, it's long. It's crazy over there. You got to see it. The TVs are on sale. It's wild. 3 people have died already. It's absolutely insane. So now she did that. Kelly ends up, the gym, the trainer, I think she calls somebody to see where Kelly is, tries to call Kelly, get a hold of her, can't get a hold of Kelly. Okay. So she's, everybody's trying to find Kelly at this point. She was supposed to also meet Dan at the gym as well. Oh. And Dan doesn't see her either. So at this point, Dan's talking to the trainer, like, where the hell's Kelly? What's going on here? So Dan wants to look for her. He said that he got home from working out of town that day and was supposed to meet her there and couldn't get in touch with her. He said, I called her a bunch of times, texting her. She's not answering. Nothing's going on here. I'm supposed to meet her at the gym. And what the fuck? No call, no show. This is messed up, man. So everybody starts looking for Kelly. The people are like, let's look for her. Let's see where she might be.
Yeah.
So her best friend, Jane Bermudez, says, let's call the cops, too, and get them involved in this as well. God. So they call the police, file a missing person report. So the police, a bunch of her friends, Dan Trott, her best friend Jane Bermudez, everybody's looking all night long. They're scouring Indialantic for Kelly Brennan, just looking everywhere. The cops go everywhere. They go to Gino's house first, thinking maybe he's got her tied up in the back room or something.
As a non-police detective, good call, fellas.
Yeah, you'd go, oh, she's in the process of a divorce.
Yeah.
She left him, and, it says here he roughed her up when she left. Yeah, let's go talk to Gino, probably. Yeah. And then she was banging. Yeah, let's talk to Gino here. I think Gino's our guy.
She's banging the mayor? Yeah, that's our first guy.
Let's talk to Gino, yeah. So they go to Gino's house. They meet with him. No, they ask him if he says he hasn't seen her, and there's no blood stains on the wall or anything, so they have to take him at his word for it. And they go to the hospital. They call all the hospitals in the whole region, thinking maybe she's there. Nobody could find her. Nobody could contact her. Finally, there is an official missing persons report going. They check every police department, hospital, fire rescue, all the highway patrols to see if there was any accidents with anybody in it that fit the description. She could be in a ditch somewhere. They went to her house. They went fucking everywhere. No one could find her.
No Kelly.
She's totally gone. Now, on the other hand, about 10:30, back to Sheila. Sheila's at home with the two kids and with the kid's girlfriend there. And she's about 10:30. She gets home and immediately the boys notice that she's acting strangely.
Yeah.
Strangely. And they say, oh, shit, she's having a seizure.
Oh.
They think Sheila's having a seizure here. She's speaking incoherently and banging her head against the wall.
That'll cause concern.
That's something where you're going to, it's going to stand out, that kind of behavior. So they call 911. Because they're like, oh, shit, mom's having a seizure. We don't know what to do here. Call 911. Ambulance comes out.
They've never seen a seizure before.
No, and she's I guess it would be a bad one, too, if she's banging her head on the,
you would
the wall and shit.
I think you would think that would be a stroke, right? Not if you're standing upright, banging your head on the wall.
No, she fell on the ground.
Oh.
And she was banging her head, she's by the wall, and she was saying shit and hitting her head on the wall.
Oh, Jesus.
And, thrashing. So they thought she was having a seizure because she was thrashing.
Okay.
It was more than just she didn't just fall down and bang her head on the wall. That would be more strokey. So, they're like, shit, they call the ambulance. Ambulance comes, and they can't find any reason for the cause. Her blood pressure's fine. Everything's fine. So it's basically do you want to go to the hospital or do you want to just not? You know what I mean?
It'd be weird, yeah.
So they just leave her. She decides that she's going to ride it out at home. She's feeling better now. And, her sons called the hospital and they were worried about her. So they do that. They leave and everybody's sitting around and they found nothing wrong with her. They're home. They're talking about everything. Out of nowhere, she starts talking about seeing Kelly Brennan's face and saying that she can see, she has a vision. She's having a vision. This seizure must have given her a vision. Yeah. That's what happens. You have a seizure and now it's like you got struck by lightning and now you can see the future. It's one of those things. Now I have visions. This seizure tweaked my brain just enough. And then she has another seizure and she just doesn't like ketchup anymore, but she can't see anything. It's weird. So anyway, she said that she sees Kelly's face and she sees that she's hurt. There's something, she's hurt. I'm seeing a vision of her hurt and she's at a beach. She's near a beach at, oh God, what is this place? Oh, this vision. Mark's Landing. She's at
names it.
In distress, her face, she's been hurt, something's wrong with her, she's near a beach at Mark's Landing, near there, I'm having this horrible vision, horrible, I can't sleep. She couldn't sleep, she was just, I can't do it. So finally, this got to the point where her sons say, let's go down there and I'll show you that there's nothing there. Okay. It's not far, let's get in the car, we'll drive down there, show you that she's not there and hurt and all this shit, and that way you can go get some sleep. I understand your friend's missing, and that's very scary for you. So they do all of that. And anyway, we'll talk about this. They go over, and well, here we go. This is from the other brother, Creighton. Graham called us over, and he's like, I see something. So we walked over and saw a body, just a shadow of a body that was in some sort of spandex workout uniform.
Oh.
Yeah. So
like they were on the way to the gym.
Like you're on the way to a training session.
Yeah.
So they don't call the cops.
No.
They leave, and Sheila tells them to go to a vacant lot nearby. Uh-huh. They go to a vacant lot nearby where Sheila picks up a reusable Publix bag. Publix is a grocery store, if you're not familiar with Florida. It's one of those reusable grocery bags. Yep. There's just a reusable grocery bag in the parking lot of some vacant lot somewhere. She goes, knows go here, go there. Okay, let me out right here. Goes out, gets it, comes back in the fucking car.
What's in the bag?
Wow. Meth and alligators? I don't know. It's Florida. Who the hell knows? So I would assume little alligator babies holding meth in their mouths.
Alligator.
Yeah, just, I don't know, with meth inside. Yeah. You crack them open and you're like, oh, it's meth.
Like a Cadbury.
Yeah. So inside the bag, they take it in the car, and Creighton says, quote, Mom opened it up, went into the purse. There's a purse in there, by the way. Opened up the wallet, and we saw Kelly's driver's license.
Oh, no.
So they were like, what the fuck, man? Like, it was one thing Mom had a psychic vision. Holy shit, That's crazy. Mom knows where this bag is with this wallet and all this shit.
Mom knows too much. Let's call the cops.
So Creighton told her, quote, we didn't want to have anything to do with it, and that me and Graham were going to go to sleep, and you got to deal with this on your own. They told her, fun is fun and mom is mom, but I'm fucking out of this shit. You did something weird, and I don't want any part of it. This is like, Creighton, this is the guy with the 19-year-old. I'm not asking any questions.
Footprints are down by a body. You're
That's
part of
good.
this. Yeah.
That's now your part. But still, he's like, I feel like we're a little too deep into this. Mom, you're on your own. So she said that she'll defend this by saying, well, we went to 2 vacant lots, and it was in the second vacant lot. It's not like I knew right where it was. I had a vision of a lot. I can't have a perfect vision. I didn't get an address on the fucking thing, you know? Jesus.
Question still, Sheila.
Oh, come on, man. And even like the Publix bag had the purse, and it was like had some groceries in it. Like Kelly went shopping and put her purse in the reusable bag, and it even had her little purse had a K on it and everything for Kelly. It was like, it's definitely hers. Ridiculous. So they all go back to Sheila's house, and Sheila makes a little detour from going into the house. They all pull up, and Sheila takes the Publix bag with the groceries and with Kelly's wallet and driver's license in it, and takes it and puts it in her vehicle. And the kids never see that bag again.
Okay.
She just puts it in her vehicle and then goes back in the house.
Okay.
So the 2 sons didn't do anything. They don't call the cops. They don't do anything. They just go in and go to sleep and tell her she's on her own. You're not going to turn your mom in. You turning your mom in, Jimmie? I'm not turning my mom in. I'm sorry.
I don't know that I can go to sleep. No.
I don't know if sleep is going to happen.
I'm going to sleep in the house with a fucking murderer.
It's your mom. She's not going to kill you.
I don't know that.
I don't know. When you're Italian, you have to get used to sometimes your relatives might kill people, but they're not going to kill you. You know what I mean? You just have to get used to that fact. It might happen at some point. It might happen at some point, but it has nothing to do with you.
I guess when it's your time, it's your time.
It's not in a psychotic way. They have a reason for it. So unless there's a reason.
Sit down and get an approval.
You got to sit down and an approval, or you're going to be the one getting whacked. So, as it said, Rossi. Anyway, the boys, though, they're a little freaked out. They don't just go in and go to sleep as they say they were going to. They call their grandmother.
Yeah.
They're like, let's call Grandma and find out what the fuck's up. This is Sheila's mom. So they're like, we could bring Grandma in on this, but Grandma will have good advice here. As I think I might have done this too when I saw my mother killed someone. I've been like, Grandma, what the fuck? And she would have said, no, what are you talking? You don't know nothing. You mind your own business and go in your room.
Grandma's a steel trap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Grandma, Jesus Christ. You could kill 50 people in front of her. I could be Ted Bundy, and my grandmother would say, nope, he's a good boy. I don't know what you mean. She could have seen me with like a backhoe pouring bodies into an open grave, and she'd go, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, she's Hardcore. Hardcore. She's a gangster, my grandmother. She wouldn't do shit like that. No. Well, you heard about, I told you the story back in the day about the neighborhood fucking attempted kid diddler.
Right.
She didn't call the cops. She put a knife to his throat and cut him. I was like, oh my God. That is scary. Knocked on his door and stuck a knife in his throat. I was like, whoa.
That's what you do.
Grandma. Yeah, that's, handle things on your own. So that's what they're doing. They call up grandma for assistance here. I don't know if she's coming, with a knife out, but she's going to show up. So she shows up. Margaret Byers shows up. This is Sheila's mom. Shows up at the residence and talks to her daughter a little bit here. And she thinks that her daughter is still experiencing some sort of illness.
Okay.
So they call the paramedics again. And the paramedics come and they leave again. And then an hour later, the paramedics are called again. 911.
I think we take her to the hospital.
I think so. This is the girlfriend that calls this time, the son's girlfriend. She says, my boyfriend's mom just had a seizure about an hour ago, and they said to call back if she's been acting weird or anything, and she's acting very strange. Knowing where dead bodies are and stuff. Is that normal seizure behavior? Clairvoyance of dead friends? Is that a thing that happens when you have a seizure? I don't know. I haven't had one yet, so I'm not positive.
I'm told she's seized, and now there's bodies. So come by.
She knows where they are, and she's going. She knows where there's Publix bags involved. I don't know. Just come over, I think. We should probably take her there. So they take her to the hospital, and they run tests and all that shit, and they can't find anything medically that would cause a seizure on her. Everything looks fine. They, release her from the hospital. She goes home. What the fuck else are you going to do? Jesus Christ. This, she goes back to now she's talking about this dream again. I had such a dream. And the kids are like, Mom, what the fuck here? She called Graham into the bedroom and she's like, I had a bad dream. I see Kelly's face and it's in the dark and it's all this shit here. So, by the way, when they telephone the grandmother, this is the grandmother's quote. Quote, Graham just said to me, Margaret, we need you. We need you. First of all, who calls their grandmother Margaret?
Yeah, why are you calling her by her first name?
Not even like Maggie or something short. Margaret.
Marge, nothing.
Very, very formal.
Yeah.
Margaret, we need you. We need you. So she drove over there. She said when she got there that Sheila was curled up in a fetal position on the bed.
Uh-huh.
She said, quote, she was shaking from head to toe. She said, call the police. And I said, what happened? She said, Mom, everything's black. Everything's black and all I can see is Kelly's face. Wow. Huh? Yeah. What's that now? That's why she called the paramedics. Like, you sound nuts. I'm not calling anybody. So that's pretty fucking amazing. It was Graham that said to me, Margaret, I think Mom's killed Kelly.
Oh, okay.
That's what. So now Grandma's like, this is crazy.
Why do you believe that?
Well, she hears why, and then she calls 911.
She agrees.
Margaret calls 911.
Okay.
And she says, quote, we just need a policeman, please.
Uh-huh.
And so
talk about it when he gets here. I don't want to be on recording about this.
Just send him over and we'll have a chit chat. What do you say? Is Joe around? I like Joe if he's there. Like, we just need a policeman, please. 911 said, what's the problem, please? And Margaret, Grandma, says, quote, I think there's been a murder. Maybe? Question mark?
Yeah.
My daughter has had a nervous breakdown and she's saying she killed somebody. So she's kind of like, I don't know if this is real or if she's just kind of freaking out or what. 911 says, your daughter's telling you she killed somebody. Mm-hmm. And she says, yes.
Yeah.
Like, duh, stupid. What did I just say? Can you speak English? Great.
Yeah.
911 says, all right, she didn't tell you who she's saying she killed, did she? Like, you're not going to make this whole case for you. She doesn't have like a full confession ready that you can give through me, right?
Can you wrap this up real quick so we don't have to deal with court and shit?
I mean, it's really a lot if we could just send us on the right path. So Grandma says, she's saying, I don't know, Kelly? Yeah. Whatever. Like, she doesn't know Kelly. Some fucking Kelly.
Yeah.
So 911 says, did she tell you where this happened? And Margaret says, it's down Mark's Landing.
Uh-oh.
So she tells the cops that. They have the information. Kelly. If it's a small town, there's probably not a lot of missing women in one night, I would assume. Yeah. So one missing Kelly there, one person who says they killed a Kelly over here. Let's figure this out here. So the police arrive. obviously. They'll get over there pretty quick for that one.
In quick succession.
Yeah, they'll be there.
Yeah.
Amber Lee Clay is an officer that responds to the 911 call, and she says that Sheila reports to her, quote, that she had a bad dream and she believes that she may have hurt somebody. And that she said, she told me that she believed it may be Kelly. And she ended up saying, quote, I believe I hurt somebody and I hurt somebody bad. It may have been Kelly. So she's, this is what she says to the first responding officer, not even a detective who's sitting her down in a room on the other side of the table. Yeah, this is just somebody call 911 and they're like, yeah, let me fill you in on the whole thing. And she's like,
bad
whoa.
Dream, dead body. I think it's her.
It's almost like you'd almost want to cut her off and be like, you're going to have to repeat this like a whole shitload of times. And never to me. So
right.
I'm good. And I'm going to have to testify now. Thanks, asshole. And appreciate it. Now I got to go to court.
A Wednesday for me in like 6 months.
It's overtime, though. It is overtime. You know what? Thanks, actually, because we want to put a deck on the back of the house, and this could help. We appreciate it. Not a lot of OT in Indialantic Police Department, you know? Kind of a 9-to-5 job here. So she said, she ended up saying, I believe I hurt somebody, may have been Kelly. So this is amazing. She keeps rambling. She's making statements. The police said, I believe I hurt someone. I keep seeing Kelly's face, to the point where they were like, I guess maybe she killed someone. Yeah. Like at first they were just like, oh, she's been to the hospital already. 911's been here. She's had a seizure.
Right.
Maybe she's just tripping out, but she keeps persisting. So finally the police said, quote, we may have a homicide on our hands. They called it on the radio. Well, who knows? Bring the detectives over. Fuck it. Tell so-and-so to put a suit on and get his ass over here.
Have we got a homicide department? Send them by.
We do? Shit. Okay, cool. That's pretty cool. How come no one ever told me? I would have joined that. That sounds awesome. I want to wear a suit.
Pretty sweet gig.
I want one of those lanyards where it swings around my neck, the badge, and I can like run and it swings back and forth like fucking Chris Maloney in like 1998. You know what I'm saying? I want one of those.
Like dotted chain, that one?
Yeah, the lanyard
chain?
deal. Yeah, the metal chain. That's what this guy wanted. They're like, come on.
Like the dog tag chain with a
leather. With the leather. Yeah, where we walk onto the crime scene, you just flip it up at the uniformed officers. Like, obviously it's hanging around my neck.
Thumb forefinger, this is me.
That's me right there. That's if you don't have time to clip it onto your waistband.
Waistband, no.
That's for fucking losers. They didn't even give you one of those chain things? Fucking dude, that means you're not. They don't think anything of you. That just means they don't like you at all. You're not going to get a promotion. You're out, dude.
Where's the metal chain lanyard guy?
You're out. You don't have one of those.
Top dog.
You don't have one of those ceiling fan pull chains with a fucking lanyard on it? No? Shit. So she's doing that, and we may have a homicide on our hands. Detectives, then they call in and tell the detectives this. We do have a homicide. Cool. Yeah. And they said on the other line, quote, wait a minute, we had a missing person report last night of Kelly Brennan. Mm-hmm. That's a Kelly. And they're like, oh, and everybody starts to put two and two together and go, could this be a thing? And she told another officer that she may have hurt my friend Kelly. She's telling her Then another officer said that she may have killed Kelly. So she's going through the whole list of statements here. She said that she told them that Kelly was bothering her husband, like screwing up the divorce with her husband. And so she was upset with her, and that was her reasoning, basically. Sheila talks to the police, and Sheila says, I keep seeing her face and that I hurt her. And the police officer said, well, that's not good, which I just think is a great line. Oh, that's not good. So anyway, now Kelly Brennan, the police go down there and they're told to go to Mark's Landing and look around. You'll find Kelly Brennan. They go down there and they can't find her.
Oh.
They can't find her. They look all over the place and they're like, is this fucking lady like, maybe she just had a seizure. Maybe she had a stroke and maybe she's seeing shit.
She's lying to us. Yeah.
Maybe she's lying to us. Maybe maybe she did kill her but put her somewhere else. Like, who the fuck knows what's going on? But then finally a helicopter's deployed and they finally find her from a helicopter. And the pilot said that He located her, and she was partially clothed and had blunt force trauma to the head.
Some of her clothes are gone, huh?
Yeah, and that could be animals after a night. We're not sure here. They said they spotted the body. This is the Lieutenant Coppola. This is, I believe, the pilot here. He says, pilot John Coppola. He says, we noticed her legs sticking out from the bushes a little bit and the kind of lower part of her torso. We landed and I got out of the helicopter and ran over. I saw a lot of trauma to her head. It's a very sad moment to see someone dead like that.
Yeah, sure. Well,
yeah. This, by the way, wasn't just some trauma to some part of her head. This was repeated violent blows to her head in different areas, as the medical examiner put it.
Destroyed her head.
Some on the right side, some on the back of her head, and many on the whole left side of her head. Wow. So just from all fucking angles, an absolute, somebody beat her head in. Yeah. I mean, seriously, like destroyed her head. So the associate medical examiner said that she suffered multiple injuries, fractures to her skull, multiple fractures to her skull, any of which could have been fatal, by the way. So this was just overkill. Testified later on, this medical examiner, that the wounds to her head were consistent with being inflicted by a hammer.
Yikes.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Raining blows down upon someone's head with a hammer is disgusting.
Right-handed somebody with a hammer, right?
Oh, my God. Well, it was all over the place, though.
Oh, good point.
So they were all over, and you don't know if it's
on the front left?
The back of her head, the side of her head. Yeah. The thing is, if you hit someone with a hammer, they're going to go down. And then wherever you're beating them then is kind of as they're flailing and rolling, or if they end up stopping, then you're going to just hit that side. Yeah. You're not going to get too many square shots from a standing position with a hammer probably before someone goes down, especially, someone who's not huge or used to getting hit in the head with fucking objects. Maybe if you hit like a pro boxer in the head, they might kind of be a little shook, but if you hit some chick on the way to her training class, probably. So, this is brutal, man. So it's hammer. She also has defensive wounds on her forearms and hands as well. So she definitely was aware this was happening to her, trying to keep it from going. They said that there isn't a whole lot of physical evidence, except they do find some of Kelly's DNA in the front passenger area of Sheila's car.
Oh, that's not good.
They find that. No, but they're also were friends, so they don't know if,
good point.
You know what I mean? That she could easily say that, she's been in my car before. So they never find this hammer. They're looking everywhere for this hammer, and they cannot find it. And there's that. So, Jesus Christ, people freak out about Kelly once it comes out that she's been killed, by the way. She had a lot of friends, and like at the hospital, she was beloved, and her patients. It's hard. One of the Lou Lervasi, it was a friend of hers and a nurse with her at the local hospital, and kayaked with her as well. And he said, or she said, I'm not sure, she was so alive, she was always running around doing things, so it was hard to know that she was dead. It was just a total shock. So she said her friendship, everybody loved working with her. She, was a really good nurse and a nice person and a good friend. She said, they said, quote, Kelly was beautiful. When she came into the room, it was like glamorous. She was patient-oriented, wasn't afraid to take charge. We called her the Sarge.
Aw.
Yeah, so it was, she was very well beloved. They made a whole, corner in the hospital dedicated to her and all this shit. She was super beloved. Now, Sheila, they go and arrest Sheila after this, obviously.
Right away. Yeah.
She's getting arrested here. She calls her son Creighton from jail, and she says, this is an amazing quote to get from your mom. Hello. A collect call from blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'll accept the charges. Yeah, that's great. She says, quote, I'm going to be in jail for a very long time, okay?
Okay.
Okay is the weirdest way to end that, with a question mark. Okay?
We're going to negotiate this?
So I should order pizza? What are you telling me? What does that mean?
Hot Pockets
no
for
dinner
quite
tonight.
some time now? Is that what you're saying?
Just try the whole catalog variety of flavors of Hot Pockets. That's how we're going to work this. She then says, they're charging me with first-degree murder. So that's difficult. She hires a defense attorney, Todd Deratani, and now This guy says, yeah, okay, sure, she said she had a dream and told him exactly where the body was and all that stuff, but the case isn't open and shut now. Let's not go crazy. Yeah. Sure, she says she killed her and knew where the body was. No one else did, and we couldn't even find it without a fucking helicopter on our own. Right. But still, it can't be, it's not open and shut. He also says, quote, she says, but it's not true. I didn't do it. The police didn't have DNA. They didn't have fingerprints, witnesses. They don't have any blood that matches Sheila Trott. So they're like, this is ridiculous, this guy. Okay. What are we talking about? He says, looks like you've got, at minimum, a case of reasonable doubt. Oh, it's for the children, everybody. Minimum. He says, absolutely reasonable doubt. It's a dream case.
Oh, Jesus.
She made several statements completely confessing to murdering her friend.
Dream case.
That's not a dream case ever. Oh, so you have a Oh, you told them where the body was. Okay. When you're writing that down as an attorney, as the point, you're not going open and shut. This is going to be easy. You're going, fuck. Where'd they find the glove? Behind the guest? Jesus Christ. Come on, OJ. How is there blood on your sock? Okay, on your socks. Okay, we'll work it out. All right. No, that's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Maybe you were, I don't know. We'll work it. So it's a bad one. So he says there's little physical evidence because, and the prosecutors say that's because Sheila planned it that way. She didn't want to get caught. She wasn't going to save physical evidence. They said, quote, it's not like she all of a sudden found out that Kelly had been having an affair with Dan Trott and confronted her immediately and beat her to death. It was like, she's known about this for a long time.
This has been stewing.
Writing emails and everything else. She's been planning this. They went on to say she'd known this and had been going on for months and months and months. She planned to the last detail. She's a murderer. You don't believe that she has some supernatural ability, that all these facts came to her in a dream, is what the prosecutors tell in the press. He says, I don't think she's clairvoyant. I think she's a killer.
Yeah.
Those are the options. She's either an amazing psychic or she murdered her friend. There is no in between. It can't be. It's physically impossible. So I don't know. Pick one: psychic or shitty friend. Which one?
Dream case.
Dream case. That's what you have to set the audience up as. Dream case. So the theory here by the prosecution, based on other pieces of evidence and things, is that Sheila waited in Kelly's front yard.
Wow.
For her. Hid in the bushes and all that kind of shit. One of those. Then when she came home, or when she came out of her house dressed in her workout gear, attacked her from behind. Yikes. That's the first blow to the back of the head that would have sent her down. And I assume maybe hit her again. She's rolling over trying to cover herself.
Yeah.
And then you just wail on one spot once she loses consciousness, I would imagine. So Sheila weighed, this is the part that bothers me, okay? Sheila weighed about 115 pounds at the time, okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, the defense is going to say, how could she have taken this athletic woman down? She's a kayaker. She's very active. She couldn't have taken her down. But the prosecutor's like, she had a hammer. It doesn't matter. Size difference, you lose a lot there if there's a hammer involved.
Yeah.
Like in boxing, lightweights don't fight heavyweights, but if you gave the lightweight a hammer, I think it's a fair fight now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it evens a lot of odds, a hammer.
My daughter hit me with a softball last night. I almost fell down.
Oh,
I almost went down.
We're lucky you're here now.
She threw it.
Lucky you didn't need the day off after that.
Yeah.
A fucking hammer. Here's what they think. Beat her silly with the hammer, killed her. The attorney general here, Jim McMaster, describes a possible scenario. He thinks that Sheila wore a protective suit of some kind while doing this,
like
some kind of hazmat suit or coveralls or like a painter, something like that, because the lack of physical evidence around would have been on her somewhere in her car. They can't figure out what happened there, but they can't find the murder weapon either. But they know.
Pants.
Yeah. Now they might go, well, maybe she didn't do it, but then again, they're like, well, then she's psychic, so she had to have done it. It keeps coming back to that. She's either perfectly and amazingly clairvoyant, or she definitely killed her. Here's the part I have. Okay, they say then she carefully cleaned up. The prosecutor said that Sheila then moved Kelly's body about 13 miles to the spot that it was found. And there's that. They also said that, they said, well, she didn't come home to clean up. Where did she clean up? She didn't stop at a gas station. There's no witnesses of a blood-covered woman coming in. Mm-hmm. You beat somebody to death with a fucking hammer, there's blood on you.
Some people are going to see that. Yeah, it's noticeable.
The theory is, they say, well, she has access to tons of property. She's a real estate agent with a lockbox. And this isn't a digital lockbox like now. This is still key boxes.
Right.
So you can go there and go in anytime you fucking want to clean yourself up. You have bathrooms, running water. She could have set up a whole station in one of these houses and got, who the fuck knows. That's the theory. She went there to clean up. Then she said she could have left Kelly's car, because Kelly's car was later found about a half a mile away from Kelly's home.
Oh.
So they think that she walked there. She parked her car there where they ended up finding Kelly's car. Mm-hmm. Walked there with the suit on, with a hammer, hid in the bushes, and jumped up and killed her. The prosecutor says, quote, "It was horrific. She was lying in wait for Kelly when Kelly came out of her house. I believe that once she started the attack and knew that Kelly wasn't going to be able to fight back, that's what it looks like. That's when the rage came to the surface." Mm-hmm. Like, hit her a few times and then was like, oh shit, I can just unload on her and it's
all mine
fine.
Now. Yeah.
All me. Sheila says a different thing, though. Sheila says, quote, "What kind of a murderer could I have been that I didn't leave fingerprints? I didn't leave hair. I had no bruises. I had no broken nails, no cuts on me or anything like that. Nothing connects me to this crime whatsoever." And the prosecutor says this was not a physical fight. This was an ambush where she bashed in this woman's brains with a hammer. She probably didn't have to break a nail to do that. What the lack of physical evidence means to me is how premeditated the crime actually was. Mm-hmm. Now, Kelly's next door neighbor also says that he saw a blonde woman in Kelly's yard that night. Uh-oh. Sheila is blonde.
Yeah.
This is a problem. No other blonde women ever hang out in Kelly's front yard. So this is an issue. Here's my problem, okay? She says, well, fingerprints, this, that. There's plenty of murders that take place where there's a lack of physical evidence, especially if it's an intelligent person, a very smart person that fucking knows
how to do that.
That knows, you don't leave my hair around, put a hairnet on, put this on, put a suit on, do whatever you got to do. Throw some gloves on. And hitting a woman from behind with a hammer and dropping her and then hitting her with a hammer, there's no reason for you to be bruised.
Right.
There isn't. Like, you wouldn't. You didn't fight her. It's not like you grabbed her by the hair and threw her to the ground or anything like that. Here's my problem. How the fuck did 115-pound Sheila drag her, Kelly, from the front yard, get her up into her car, apparently into the front passenger seat, because that's the theory, because that's where the DNA was found, get her into the passenger seat, get her out of the car 13 miles away, then drag her to a desolated enough spot to where you can't find her unless you have a fucking helicopter or know exactly where you're going. How does that happen?
Getting her into the car, I don't think is as difficult as getting her out of the car.
That's my thing.
Does she have a wheelbarrow?
You could probably drag her over to the car, and dragging a lifeless thing that's not easy.
No.
Dead weight. You ever heard the term dead weight? That's what it is. So right away, someone's heavier. But to get her in there, I guess if you could kind of pull up her upper half and then maybe push the lower half and get underneath it, and you know what I mean? Yeah, you can. And if you don't need to get her like in the seat perfectly either, obviously, then whatever. But how do you get her out of the car and drag her that far into the wilderness or into the brush area where she can't be found? That's hard for someone. You can't shoulder
a dead body like that.
No, I don't know how she did that, and that's what bothers me here. Like, she obviously fucking did it. Like, you just don't know where bodies are for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but what I mean, I don't know, man. I have a theory, but I don't know if it's even something you can even say, because it's sort of accusatory, but it's I don't know, man.
Somebody helped? Is that what you mean?
Someone had to have helped her, I'm feeling like, physically. And there's certain people that have had reactions in these stories that were like, that's a weird reaction to that. Or a strange thing, like, you're on your own, Mom. Like, I'm not involved in this, but I won't call the cops. Like, stuff like that makes me, I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, and allegedly, possibly, don't know this. And I don't want to blame these kids because, good Christ, if you're these kids and you just came home and your mom's acting weird and then took you to see a fucking dead body and then she killed somebody, what a horrible time for you as a teenager, and I feel terrible.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know another male or another strong person that she would lie for and not try to push blame on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was Gino, she'd be like, me and Gino fucking did it. He did everything. He talked me into it. He was the one who was mad. Right. That's what you would do to get out of it. Anybody would. If it was Dan, she would say it was, you know what I'm saying? But if it was that's why they keep the theory of OJ. They keep having the OJ, it's his son theory, because they're like, who would he not tell on? His son. That's the only one. Everybody else. So, yeah, but I'm not saying that's true or not. I'm just saying if you're coming up with crazy harebrained theories, that's the only one I can come up with that's even remotely
can't get anywhere else.
Makes it. So anyway, now Sheila later on will claim, now that she's arrested, that she wasn't even mad at Kelly for being in an affair with Dan. Now she's like, I wasn't even upset about it. As a matter of fact,
emails.
Yeah, well, she said, quote, well, the fact that I set him up with Kelly would, that would make it a little different, wouldn't it? Now she's saying she set them up together. She played matchmaker.
Oh.
Now it wasn't even a problem.
I introduced them.
It was, they said, you set them up. The prosecutor said, you set them up. And she said, yes, absolutely. She was my ticket out of a bad marriage.
Oh, boy.
That's her story.
You set up a married woman with your ex-husband as a ticket out of your bad marriage?
Yeah, your friend, by the way, who you've known since college. Not just some broad you met over here that you don't care about. Your friend.
You're going to destroy Gino's life because your marriage sucks.
Super strange. She said, quote, in God's honest truth, if I was going to kill anybody, it would have been Dan.
Okay.
So that's it. She said, quote, I did not kill Kelly Brennan. She was the best thing that could have happened to me. She said that she orchestrated it and all that. She said, quote, I said, you know something, Kelly? You and Dan would be perfect for each other. And she just perked right up and said, really? And I said, yeah. But Kelly, you're going to have to lose some weight. That's what she said. She's taking fucking shots at her post-mortem.
At a dead lady.
Yeah, he likes a thinner woman like me, but obviously you would, that's just shitty, man. I'm sorry.
It's a little more square than he likes it.
And Kelly was fine, by the way. That's ridiculous. Also, she was not even heavy set. I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. I've seen all these pictures of her. She's in great shape. Stupid.
Cold as fuck.
It's cold fucking blooded, but that's how there's narcissism, I think, runs deep in that family. If the father was, Dan had it too. Even the divorce attorney, Sheila's divorce attorney, says that Sheila seemed fine with the affair. She says, quote, and that she really didn't have a problem with Kelly because she knew her, so she knew she'd be very good with the children and really wouldn't be a problem in the divorce, is what she said. So now Sheila's now saying that the dream that she has another thing now. The dream I had was actually, you know what it was now? It wasn't a dream. It's actually a memory of witnessing Kelly being killed by a strange man. I saw the whole thing. That's why I was seen in the yard, because I saw the whole thing, but I couldn't do anything about it, obviously.
Don't say that at all.
As a matter of fact, she says, quote, she was arguing with him and I heard him say, but Kelly, and she said, enough. And then she went and bent into the car to do something and I saw him hit her.
Oh my God.
It was just a repressed memory.
Yeah.
She says now that she's been behind bars, her memories all come back to her now. That's what it was. It was coming back spotty.
Yeah.
Now it's all clear and I've written it all out, So she said she wrote out here, quote, he dragged her into the grass and kept hitting her. And she said they asked her, is that what you saw? And she said, yes. And she said, yes. And I didn't even do anything. Didn't even help her. And she was crying, tears. They said, why didn't you call the police? And she said, I don't know. Not sure.
You just put yourself at the crime scene. Are you out of your fucking mind?
I said, while the murder was happening. Not even like, my footprints were there because I came by earlier and she wasn't home. That's something that like a criminal would say to try to get out of that. She was like, I was watching her be murdered just by a stranger, though. I don't know who the fuck it was. That's not a good story. I just said that's not a good story. It's not a good story. I'll tell you what, Jimmy. It's a Jimmie Whisman. He's not a good story. Okay. So, by the way, fuck that. I should play Mario. Let me play Mario. Fuck this shit.
Who's playing him?
Fucking Chris Pratt.
Stop it.
I swear to God, I know it's okay, I understand that it's a cartoon and it's like the most offensive stereotype going, but if you're going to depict people in offensive fucking stereotypes, at least let one of the fucking people you're doing this to fucking play that part. Chris Pratt gets enough goddamn movie roles. He doesn't need to play. How often does a fucking Italian guy come up in a movie role that doesn't have anything to do with the Sopranos fucking storyline? It doesn't. Unless they're going to make Saints of Newark prequels for the next 20 fucking years. These are the only jobs these actors have. Let them fucking get it. For Christ's sake.
Also, Chris Pratt... Isn't Mario supposed to be out of shape? Like, what the fuck is happening?
It's not live action. It's cartoon, I think.
He's just voicing the character?
I think it's a voice, yeah.
And we're getting that guy to do it.
Yeah, because he's famous. And you go, Chris Pratt's the voice of Mario. No! Captain Lou Albano is fucking Mario. Remember? That's who's Mario. Or for some reason, I'll accept Bob Hoskins from the 90s, too. That's fine as well. But not this shit. Anyway.
Chris Pratt.
Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Are you? No. Okay. So she says that
it's going to be a terrible accent, like fucking Elon Musk playing Wario on SNL. That was the most unconvincing piece of shit I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, it's all. Yeah, that's why you don't let. That's why you don't let fucking tech entrepreneurs host comedy shows. That's why.
Billionaires,
because they're not funny. They're not funny.
A fun little passion project out of the house for the night.
Fuck you. They're not. They're hilarious, I'm sure. Oh, so you're a tech genius and you're hilarious? Right. Some tells me probably not. Those sides of the brain don't fucking mingle together. Tell you what.
They don't.
You're one or you're the other. You're either clairvoyant or a murderer, and you're either a fucking rocket genius or some science genius or whatever the fuck,
or
math genius, or you're fucking funny. One of the two. You don't get it all. So Sheila told a friend of hers all of this in a letter to her. She claims in this letter that she decided to stop at Kelly's house that night to ask Kelly to stop driving by her house looking for Dan. So I told her, look, that's enough.
You come to my house, I'll come to your house.
She said, it's so crazy. The exact moment I arrived, I saw a strange man attacking Kelly. Yeah. It was so weird. And they said, well, how would you describe the man who was with Kelly? I mean, you were there. Hopefully, let's get a description of him. And she said, it was just too dark. It was too dark. Yeah. Couldn't see. Yeah. I mean, how can you don't want to get a closer look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have that. The prosecutor said this letter is a confession. That's what this is. She sent a letter to her friend. And she says it's not a confession letter. That's my account of what happened that evening. That's one of those. That's your story. Yeah. That's really your story. That you fucking. So you've told us two things. You've said that you were there. Yeah. You were there at the exact time she was murdered, and then you know exactly where she was disposed of.
Right.
And you're telling me that you didn't do it though. No, you're fine. So,
Jesus Christ.
She says that. Next up, she's got a totally new story. Sheila. It's totally, she's like, I don't know what I was thinking. Seizures, messes it up. So she said, first I thought that, before she said she saw this happening and then the guy got her in the car and then she just like ran away because she was so scared. This time she's like, I was scared, but I didn't go to the police station and I didn't run for my life. I followed them. Yeah. That's how I knew, because that's how I knew where she was. I followed them and watched him dispose of the body and then followed him to the vacant lot where he disposed of the belongings.
Because
when you're killing someone in the middle of the night, there's people behind you. You don't look. You don't make sure it's not
in your rear view.
You don't make sure you're not being tailed to 3 different locations while you dispose of a body. That's fine, right? You pull out of the driveway, she pulls out behind you on the street. You're like, I'm sure someone was just having to go out right now. Happen to go to the same spot on the beach I'm going. No problem.
The landing, having to go to the empty
vacant lot.
Yeah.
Unfucking believable. So that is her story. That's her story, because they're like, well, you have to account for how you knew where the body was. You can't just say I saw it and I'm clairvoyant. No one's buying that shit. So now her new thing is, I watched it all happen. I followed them down there. I watched her being disposed of, and then I just went home.
And his lawyer's going, come on, give me something.
Lawyer's like, for the love of God, really?
I said it was a dream case. Help! I didn't say nightmare.
Okay, it's a dream case right here. Oh boy. Her kids, She now says the kids brought her to the body spot, not the other way around. Also, that's another thing. Her kids, she saw the murder and witnessed it and saw the disposing and witnessed that whole thing, but then her kids knew where the body was somehow.
Got it.
Okay. So they ask her, why would you take your 2 teenage sons out to Mark's Landing and show them where the body was? And she said, the kids took me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said, Ma, we're going down there, because she said Mark's Landing. That's what she's saying. And so then they took her there and they walked right up to the body. They're way better than the police search team with the canines.
Right.
Way better. My 2 sons in the fucking dark. One of them doesn't even have hair. Fucking, I don't know how that would help you find things better,
right.
But for some reason, an 18-year-old kid with hair is bad at finding a body in the dark. I don't know why, but he's bad at it. The moonlight's in his eyes. I don't know, something. So he has no hair.
With no hair, I think probably knows where multiple bodies are.
Probably. Because he's so upset about
that
life.
Kid's upset at the world and made the bodies.
So she said the kids took me. They said, no, you led them to the place. And she said, no, I didn't take them right to the body. We walked around and we were just on our way out when we saw her feet. Wise guy. Like, what do you think of that?
Duh.
Huh. Wow. So they said, why is it when your mother came over to the house, you didn't tell her? We just got back from Mark's Landing where, we saw my dead friend. Right. Anything on there? She said, you'd have to ask the kids that. I don't know if it really ever came up.
Oh, boy.
Came up? It never came up? What the fuck else what have you been up to tonight? Yeah. Not much. I mean, what else can come up besides we went and saw a dead body with the kids?
Holy shit.
It didn't come up, Jimmy. It's difficult. And they said, quote, Sheila, it didn't come up. You've just been to see a dead body, a woman whose skull was crushed. And she said, well, when my mom came in, I was in bed and she woke me up. I don't remember the conversation very well.
Your friend. It wasn't even a stranger.
No, it wasn't even like, I just saw this dude who's normally like sleeping under the bridge and I see him jamming hypodermic needles into his arm all the time. He was laying there. No, this is my friend, and her head skull was caved in.
Who you set up with your ex-husband, you say?
Yeah, obviously. So the interview here with the police department, Sergeant Baker, according to the recorded interview here, Sheila told him that she had a dream. This is her official story. Kelly had been badly hurt. She was concerned about Kelly. She never said that she was involved in hurting Kelly, and she never admitted to hurting Kelly. She said, I don't know if it was a dream or a memory or what, but I woke up and it just startled me. She said, I said, I'm worried about Kelly. I think Kelly's hurt. Everything was black. She was arguing with someone, and I saw the sign for Mark's Landing. And they said, in this dream, was Kelly dead? And she said, no. I said, did you see her bloody body? No. Did you see her body at Mark's Landing? No. Did you hurt Kelly? No, I would never hurt Kelly. I would have never hurt Kelly.
Okay.
No. She also says it's probably Gino. I mean, I'm sure it was Gino that was bashing her skull. And guys, what are you thinking here? Gino, everybody, police, Gino's the only person who knew where Kelly specifically was that evening. That's what Sheila says, which... No, she had a specific time that she worked out all the time. It was set. And she was at her house. It's not like she was at some weird location she'd never been before.
Right.
She left her house. If you were looking for her, that'd be the first place you check, I would think, right? So they asked her, it sounds like you think Gino's the killer. She said, quote, I'm not going to say who I think it is. Gino could absolutely do it. Kelly wanted out of that marriage. So the prosecutors are like, yeah, but he has a really strong alibi, like an amazing alibi. He's on a security video from a drugstore in a whole other town.
Uh-oh.
Just in a whole other, hour away. No possible way he could be there for this. He's literally on film in a drugstore. Can't be there. Wrong person to blame. And then Scott Vickers, the next door neighbor, he'll tell the police that he saw a blonde woman, not a man, on the lawn that light. Definitely a smaller woman. Definitely not a man. Blonde hair. Uh-oh. Saw it happen. So... they asked Sheila, what do you think about the contention that you were wearing some sort of hazmat suit? And Sheila said, quote, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. We're next to Disney World. Why didn't they just put me in a Mickey Mouse suit? Are you even serious? This is on an interview on television. She said that.
Why did they put me?
She's
so far-fetched, right?
She's funny.
She is.
Yeah.
She's a spark plug. Also, then they find a letter given to his attorney, her old attorney, Duratani, by Kim Meredith, a friend of hers, that contained her confession there. Obviously saying that we read you the letter before. Right. And this is referred to back and forth as the phantom letter, as the confession letter. At one hearing, she says that the letter never existed, and then at one point she says she wrote many letters, and she doesn't know if one of them was this letter they're talking about. So it's very fucking weird here. Now, I have her handwritten. And we did it at the virtual live show, just showed you the handwritten, but we didn't read it because we were out of time. But here we have the time. We're going to read her letter.
Oh, boy.
Want to read her letter? Right in her fucking handwriting and everything. Okay. Quote, I saw Kelly in the drive. I couldn't pull in the drive because there was another car there, so I parked on the next street to the right. When I got out of the car and headed to the house, I hear voices and recognized Kelly's voice and that of a man. I looked up and saw her in the front doorway, him standing in the path. It seemed like it wasn't a pleasant conversation. She says, I headed back to my car. Also, I didn't want to discuss this in front of someone else. Don't drive by my house. I got in the car and I turned around to leave. When I turned the car around, I could see the front of Steph's house. I don't know. That guy who she was talking to. The guy who she was talking to was pacing in front of the car parked in the drive. He had his hands on the top of his head, and his body movements looked like he wasn't happy. I couldn't see his face, but I didn't recognize his figure either. He had his back to the road while he leaned on the trunk. So that's what she says. I should have left, but I didn't. I got nosy. My first and immediate thought was, while the mouse is away, the cat must play. So she thought that Kelly was banging this guy, too, in her mind. Like, ooh, look at what's happening here.
No, you didn't get information to tell Dan.
Well, her next line is, at the time, I was actually laughing inside about it. Dan was getting what he deserved. They're perfect for each other. Like, good. Jesus. There you go. I wanted to see if he would leave. I turned the car off and sat and watched for a while. He didn't move. After a considerable amount of time, she came out and he went to her at the front door. I had the car windows rolled up so I couldn't hear anything, and I think I was just too far away anyway. I backed the car into a drive and parked it on the other side of the street. What are you talking about?
This didn't happen.
If you're going to murder someone in the front yard, you're definitely aware of cars pulling in and out of driveways, and you're not doing this. This is ridiculous.
Just some car manipulating itself back and forth around the street.
Yeah.
You're going to notice that.
They were parked on the street. Now they're backed into some other person's driveway. Right. I'm sure that's normal.
Keep hearing this car start up, shut off, start up, shut off.
Right. Headlights on and on. I left the car and walked toward the house and could hear them arguing. They weren't yelling at each other, just arguing. I was still on the other side of the street, afraid to get out. Okay. I wanted to figure out what they were arguing about because the relationship appeared to be more intimate than friendly. He was very agitated. So I walked around the block. So I would be the furthest at the furthest end of her property. So rather to walk in front of her house, she just went around the block to get to the other side of it, which is pretty psychotic. Anyway, that's wild. I stayed at the corner of the house across the street, and just as I got there, I saw that he was standing beside her while she opened the door behind the driver's seat. She fumbled with something and then walked around to the other side of the car/truck. While she was on the other side of the truck, he reached into the truck, but I didn't see if he put something in or took something out. It was hard to see because he was in the way. When she came back out to the driver's side, I heard him say, "But Kelly," she put her left hand up with the key still in them because I heard them rattle, and said, "Enough. I told you I was done with you. Now go away. I have plans for the evening." That's when he hit her. She went down, and he hit her 2 more times. He dragged her into the grass and kept hitting her. I lost it. I felt the blood rush out of my arms and legs, and I started to shake. I got scared, and I ran for it. I ran across the lawns at the other side. Ran across the lawns at the other side of the house. Sorry, it's in her handwriting, so it's hard to see here. She's running across a lawn. No one's seeing this, by the way. She's totally invisible, this woman. She's clairvoyant and invisible. She's got a lot of qualities that I'd like to have myself.
She's a superhero. She could do some good.
Yeah, I would say. I had to stop running because my legs were shaking so bad. I tried walking, and I was stammering. For some reason, I couldn't manage to walk in a straight line. I ended up sitting on the curb for a moment. I got up and tried to walk again, but I kept walking to my left, like the world was on a tilt. I ended up running into a hedge. Okay. I pushed along and then went down. I think I passed out. Maybe another seizure.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I was out, but when I woke up, I tried standing and was a bit steadier. When I stood, this is all in someone's yard, by the way, or like on the sidewalk. This is happening.
Well, a murder's happening.
Well, a murder's happening and her car is parked in someone else's driveway. This is great. When I started walking, I staggered but was able to walk forward better. By the time I got to my car, I was even better. I got into the car and sat for a moment. My mind was blank. It was the oddest feeling, but I was numb and my mind was empty. I started the car and turned around in the street. Again, I was able to see Stephanie's house to the left. I saw that guy walk to the back of Steph's house, or Steph's drive, so I turned off the car lights. He came back with a hose and put it in the back seat of Kelly's truck. That's when I noticed that the truck was facing a different direction, because before it was driven into the drive, now it was backed in. After he put the hose in the back seat, he got in and headed toward, I don't know what that is. I think it's a road I can't make out. Like a fool, I followed him. Don't ask me why, but I did. That's the important part here.
Yeah. Here's my story. Don't ask me any questions.
When he got to whatever that road is, he made a left. I was behind him far enough that when I reached that road, I had to try to shit, that part's hard to read. Anyway, we'll go over to here probably. I saw him make a right into a vacant lot. As I passed the lot, I slowed down and saw him take some bags out of the back seat and put them near the bushes. I turned on that road again and pulled over in the shoulder and watched the lot. It wasn't too long before he pulled out and headed south. I followed him south, and for some reason... Jesus Christ, dude. You have a cell phone. This is 2011. Hi, police? Yeah, I just watched my friend get brutally murdered by a guy. I followed him to the spot where he disposed of the body. I'm behind him right now if you want to know where he is to come pick him up, probably. I just saw him hose out the truck. This isn't I couldn't get to a phone. I was scared.
Right.
Call the fucking phone. Call 911 on speakerphone while you're driving and fucking go. What are you talking
I just
about?
saw a man shoot water into a vehicle after pummeling my friend to death.
This is insanity, man. He turned off through and went through residential streets. I was expecting him to go to a house, but he never did. He kept going down through Melbourne Beach, past the Publix and further south. I was getting concerned because I was driving a long way and I was just about to give up when he made a left into a beach access. I passed the access and turned around at the next street I got to. I went back up whatever that street was, past the access, turned around again, and I remember it was really dark when I headed back to the access. I saw the sign for Mark's Landing on my right, so I pulled in. I stopped immediately in the entrance and looked through the back window. Kelly's truck was pulled into the beach access, and I could see the interior light on. I saw him standing on the other side of the car and pulling something out of the passenger side. This guy is blind to everything. He only sees things that are about 4 feet in a circle around him.
Hyper-focused on the task at hand. He's a great employee.
He is. He really is. This guy, maybe this is one of the guys we need to get for politics like we talked about. He's really studious.
He's a go-getter.
He's a go-getter. I couldn't see very well because it was really dark, but the light from the car was enough for me to see that it was her. As soon as I saw him pull her from the car, I panicked. Oh, my God. I turned the car around and pulled onto whatever road here quickly as I could and headed north. I don't remember how much of the details on the drive home, but I'm sure I took the usual route straight up, whatever that is. A1A? Is that a road?
Oh, Beachfront Avenue.
There you go. A1A. I couldn't believe I had seen what I saw. I could finally see it clearly in her handwriting. It was scribbled always.
Yeah.
I know I was worried about my breathing. I just could not believe I was afraid and I didn't know what to do. I did nothing to stop what I now knew happened, and I did nothing to get help. I needed to get home. When I got home, I pulled into the drive and noticed the something light on. I went into the house and took off my shoes, put on my slippers, and put on my something on the stairs. When I was at the bottom of the stairs, I heard the TV on upstairs in Graham's room. I called up to Ariel and asked if Graham was home, and they both replied. I went out the back door to the shed and grabbed a large something can and headed to the front gate. I walked out the gate to the car and began pulling. I had a meeting the next day at work, and I didn't want to be bothered with stopping for gas. I don't know why. While I was filling the car with gas, began filling. Okay, there we go. She put gas from a gas tank in her car that night.
She got a gas can?
A gas can.
Yeah.
Didn't stop at the gas station, because they have receipts for where you are when you stop at gas stations.
Right.
Wow. So that's why she did that. She didn't want to be bothered stopping for gas in the morning. I don't know why. I just figured I'd fill up at home that night like everybody does. While I was filling the car with gas, Graham and Ariel came out the side door to the garage, I'm sure to do laundry. They looked in my direction, and I told them I needed to make sure they filled the car when they said it was because they had used it the day before. And whatever. Okay. Well, I was talking to the kids. I felt gas spill on my slippers. A whole tank full she's putting in. How much gas? A large gas can, I guess so.
On her slippers.
Holy shit. So much. It's pouring out. She fucking overfilled it. It went right through to my feet. I stopped putting gas in the car and went through the gate to the shed. Then I lit my slippers on fire for a cool fucking rock and roll moment. My kids were like, yeah, mom's the coolest.
Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
That didn't happen. I wish it did. I put the tank away and I went back to the front gate and shut it. Then I went to the car to make sure it was locked. I went to the house and Graham followed me right behind. When I got to the bottom of the stairs, I started to get dizzy and feel weak in my legs. I grabbed the bookshelf with my left hand and the wall with my right. Graham saw me and grabbed me from behind. He asked if I was okay, and I told him I felt like I was going to faint. My legs started to go weak, and I told Graham to let me sit. Let me sit right where I was because I couldn't move my legs. I sat down right in the entryway. My head started thrashing back and forth, and I thought I was going to hit the wall, so I grabbed my head to protect it. Graham wanted to call 911, but I told him I thought it was just a seizure. Just a
seizure.
No worries. Just put a wallet in my mouth. It's fine.
One with a K on it.
Yeah, we got one. I grabbed my head to protect it. My head wouldn't stop thrashing, and my speech started to get worse. The left side of my face went numb, and I had a hard time speaking. That sounds like a stroke. You should probably check into that. I leaned forward with my legs out to the left to protect my head. When I did this, the smell of something got worse. A&W? Root beer? A&W root beer? I don't know what the hell it says. Oh, from my slippers. It has to be gas, just scribbled here. I told Ariel I wanted to get the smell out of the house. She took my slippers off, and I kept hearing Graham telling me that he needed to call 911. I wasn't getting any better. I had no feelings in my legs, blah, blah, blah. I asked Ariel to move my legs in front of me, hoping I would get feeling in them so I could move to the couch. Jesus Christ, man. I thought I would be mortified if they found me on the floor. The moment she moved my legs, I wet my pants and it kept on coming.
Yeah,
I was so embarrassed. Yeah. Or pretend whatever the fuck is happening, because that's what it is.
Yeah, you do. Some people do wet their pants during a seizure. I've heard of that.
I asked Ariel to get a towel. The whole time she was going on my head started to slow down after I wet myself, and my speech began to improve. My vision started to go, and I couldn't focus. Graham came back in the living room and scooped me up and put me on the couch. I saw Ariel wipe the mess while Graham put a blanket under me to protect the couch from my wet pants. She then talks about she had a hard time talking to the paramedic, and said they wanted to take me to the hospital for tests, but I didn't want to go because of the expense. We hear a lot of this, by the way. People in other countries are like, what? You think you might have had a stroke? You went numb and wet your pants and you can't move, but you didn't go to the hospital? Yes, because in case there is nothing wrong, now you're in debt for the rest of your life.
Right.
You're going to be in debt for $100,000. That's literally what it is. That's your whole, you're fucked right there.
Yeah.
Done. So,
and the ride in the ambulance is like $15,000.
Yeah, everything is so fucking expensive. He did say, so they said they'd leave him there, but if they came back, they'd have to take her to the hospital. She said she felt better after that. She walked around, Graham was helping her. She said that I was wet, and I heard Graham tell me I needed to get to go to bed, but I insisted. I stripped down in the bathroom and got in the shower. Graham sat on the toilet and then Ariel while I showered. Send the girlfriend in there for that. That's just Jesus. I get the concern, but
naked.
Yeah, I got out of the shower. Not that it was like a perverted thing.
No,
it's just
weird.
Yeah, exactly. I got out of the shower and asked Ariel to put my clothes in the hamper, and I went to bed. I woke up with Graham sitting on the bed holding my hand. I asked him what he was doing, and I said I asked him what he was doing, and he said I was walking and talking and walking around and acting weird. I told him that he was nuts and that I'd been asleep, and then he got all worried about me and called 911 again. I got upset because they said they'd make me go to the hospital. When the paramedics came back, the one said something about my promise to go with them, but that he first wants to take some tests. He ran some tests and made me get up. I walked up and down the stairs. I heard them tell Graham that he could ride up front. That's when she went to the hospital and then ended up coming back and all that type of shit. We don't need the hospital stuff. Creighton and I rode up front. I don't remember anything being said on the way home. Here we go. I went to sleep and woke up with my heart racing. I had a nightmare that woke me and scared me to death. In my nightmare, it was dark. I could see Kelly's face, and she appeared to be arguing. I saw the sign for Mark's Landing. At the time, it was a nightmare, but in retrospect, it may have been something different. I'm not even sure now if I was even asleep, but I have had to have been. Well, I was so shaken that I called Graham into the room. I told him that I had a really bad dream that I thought something happened to Kelly. Graham told me that Kelly was fine and that he was sure the dream was, no big deal. He was insistent that it was because of my seizure, and I started to think maybe he was right. To try to get me to calm down, Graham said, let's go down to Mark's Landing and you'll see nobody is there. Okay, so I would go. I said, I'll just go. And he said, no, all four of us will go. Group outing.
Yeah.
Graham went and got Ariel. See, this is my thought, why I thought the sons might have helped her with the body. Not that I think that. Alleged. The only reason why I said that is because for them to go down there, that would give a plausible thing of why their shoe prints would be down there and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I could think of her trying to get them out of trouble. Because she doesn't go from being really smart and planning this whole crime and covering up and having coveralls on and a vacant property to change on, and then just turn into a complete nudnik at the end over nowhere. For
all the planning and execution of it, the follow up is trash.
That's what I mean. So they go to Mark's Landing, and we walked from the south entrance along the bushes. I remember the bushes were really thick, so we didn't have to go into them far. We walked counterclockwise, and when we were almost out of the north entrance, when I saw the marks in the sand, I started to get flashes of a bad feeling. It can't be explained. I headed up to the bushes and asked Creighton for his phone, but he wouldn't give it to me. Then he turned his flashlight on. I saw legs and said, oh my God, it's her. All I saw were legs, and I turned around and told Creighton to come, but he moved closer to the bushes. When Ariel and Graham heard me, they moved toward Creighton, and I heard Ariel say, I want to see.
Oh,
Jesus. I called to the kids and said, we need to get out of here, and they came. We got into the car and headed north. We were talking, but I don't remember what we said. All four of us were shocked, I know, and I didn't know what to do. As we were heading home, Graham was asking me about the nightmare. He asked me if I had seen anything else, and I said no. Then I told him what I had seen, and I also told him about the vacant lot I had seen. I had a dream about it that's starting to the east of the ocean, and a cleared lot with some bags and boxes. I told Graham it didn't seem like it would be associated because it wasn't as violent as the other dream. As we got back to Ocean Avenue, I told Creighton we had better check it out. He asked if I have any idea where the lot might be, and I told him that it appeared to look like the vacant lot in Indialantic where they cleared it out for a building. She's like, that's what it looks like in my dream. It's the Ariel
when we
here.
Get home, we got to get Ariel out of the house. She just said she wanted to see a dead body.
Yeah, I want to see a dead body.
We got to kick that bitch out.
Yeah, she's dark, man. She's dark. One of the kids in the back, either Ariel or Graham, spotted the pile and said, there they are. I think it was Ariel, but not sure. Creighton pulled the car over, and I got out and grabbed a pile of bags in one scoop. There were no boxes. The only thing I remember from the bags is that one of them was bright green. That's the Publix one. When I picked up the bags, a lot of dirt fell on my leg, so I asked for a towel. Let's see. When we got home, we went right out to the backyard because of all the dirt. I told one of the kids to pass me a tarp that was there. I put the pile of bags on the tarp, and we all just stared at it. Ariel went to grab for one, and I said, "Look, it's a purse." The three of us said, "Don't touch a thing." The moment Ariel recognized that one bag was a purse, my heart sank, and I knew I had to do something. Told the kids to leave the bags and that I was going to get rid of them. I put the tarp in with the bags. Why would you say I'm going to go get rid of them? Why would you do that? Call the police.
What do you need to get rid of that for?
I got to dispose of this evidence that doesn't incriminate me. I just really do. People love disposing of evidence for other people, just without them even knowing.
Right.
So she said I made a right on the first street and then head north. I was driving. I was getting scared because none of it made any sense to me. I had absolutely no recollection of what was going on. I thought I was losing my mind. She talks about all this shit. She says I recognized the knife right off the bat. I was catering Saturday morning. She said they're talking about this shit now. She's fucking losing her mind through these letters. She said,
she's not a killer is the thing, and she did it, and now she doesn't know how to fucking stop it all.
Yeah, how to stop this shit from happening. She said, one of the kids told her that I thought I may have killed Kelly, and my mom held my hand and said, "Sheila, you need to get help. You're having a nervous breakdown." So that's what the mother said. My mom said, "We need to call the police and get you help." And so she said, "Go ahead and call the police." So that was it. She called the police, and she said she remembers several police officers coming in. She told them about the bad dream and all that kind of shit. All I heard him say on the phone was, she says this, "I never saw the kids again. And when there was nobody left in my room, I got to take a shower. When I went back into the bedroom to put my nightshirt on, I was standing in the front window and heard an officer out front talking. I went to the window. It was Mr. Kent. All I heard him say on the phone was, we picked up a ping signal from her son's cell phone at Mark's Landing. The next thing I remember was hearing a man yelling while he was climbing the stairs. He was saying he was an officer and I needed to get out of the house. I told him I needed to get dressed, blah, 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 blah." So that's what happens there.
Okay.
That's a lot. And that's a confession in my book.
It's a lot. It's a confession, but it's also a lot of bullshit.
It's a lot of bullshit. Here's something funny. Her attorney, Todd Deratani, was mayor of Indialantic from 96 to 98.
Oh, just prior.
He does leave before it goes to trial, though. She doesn't let him try it. He says, "I was absolutely certain this was an 80% chance I could have won this case working at half speed. It was that good of a case.
I wasn't even going to try, and I was going to win."
Yep. He does. As the trial starts, he's not here because he's selling cars.
What?
At his car dealership that he owns, and the Florida Supreme Court has permanently disbarred him for harming clients by taking their money and failing to represent them as well. So, defense strategy is no one saw the murder, and the evidence against her is based on jumping to conclusions, and assumptions are not appropriate or a fair determination for murder.
Okay.
Lack of evidence they're pointing to. They said it's more suggests that Gino did it than anybody else. They pointed to a sample police took from Kelly's yard where they said that it took place, and they said they found no blood there. So the police didn't test for blood found near Brennan's body, which they said belonged to, that's what the defense is saying, that's the true attacker's blood there. They were looking for like a blood trail of someone running away.
Okay.
DNA evidence for the car. This is their excuse for that. That the blood was transferred to the floorboard of Sheila's car after she and her sons went to Mark's Landing and saw the body. They said that they inferred that the transfer of blood was made through some sort of cross-contamination. Yes, of feet. She also claims that if she was a murderer, she's not saying she did do it, but if she did do it, it's because she was on Ambien as well. And it was a side effect, and she doesn't know anything about it. So there's that,
dangerous.
too.
Yeah.
Shit's dangerous. So Dan testifies against her. He says they ask him, "Do you remember that day?" He said, "I've been spending nearly the last 5 years trying to forget it." And they said, "Were you looking forward to seeing Kelly?" He said, "Absolutely." Sheila's attorneys say They point to Gino Rallo at this point, saying to Dan, he physically showed up at your house and confronts you both, right? And that's when he said he physically broke through the door and came in and essentially assaulted me. Yes.
Yeah.
They said, did he have a weapon? Did Gino have a weapon in his hand when he barged through your door? And Dan said, yes, he did. They said, describe that weapon. It was some sort of jack, like a blackjack, you know, like a blunt object that you'd hit someone in the head with and crack their skull open.
Right.
That's what they're trying to show. So he said he suffered injuries to the face and neck. And he says moments later, Kelly, because Kelly was over there when this happened, Kelly followed Gino out and to talk to him. And that's when Gino yelled at her and started getting physical with her. Dan said, quote, he attacked her in the garage, essentially was choking her, and it was a rather violent encounter.
Jesus.
So, yeah, we got an angry husband. Mm-hmm. We got a lot going on here. So, yeah, they said they get Gino on the stand, and they try to attempt to say that he was enraged and all this type of shit. So they said, you started slamming her against the wall and putting your hands around her neck. Isn't that true, Mr. Rallo? He said, it wasn't really a fight as much as we, quote, wrestled in the garage.
Okay.
No. You don't wrestle with your wife in a garage. That just doesn't happen.
We locked up in the garage. That's what happened.
That's what happened. He does say he was torn up about it. He said he loves his wife. He says that he also got $250,000 insurance money out of her, but he didn't kill her. He's like, I do fine, and I didn't kill her because of that. Gino testifies that Sheila was a master manipulator who taunted him into attacking Dan. Said, I only attacked Dan because of her. Quote, she would call me from time to time and say, hey, this is going on, and they're having an affair. And Gino said a lot that happened. And he said he didn't even believe it at first.
Yeah.
And also all the emails and all this type of shit. In one email, she wrote, talking about Dan to Gino, he was sitting in front of you lying to your face. Were you hoping that... Then they said, were you hoping that Gino was going to go over and attack his wife or attack your husband, putting an end to the affair so you could have Dan back? And Sheila said, oh, no, when she testifies.
That's exactly
I wasn't
what she's doing.
Yeah, I wasn't upset that Dan was having an affair with Kelly. I was upset that he was spending the money that he was. He also says that Gina Rallo, that Dan was, that no one, they were trying to prove that Gino was the most mad person in the world. Sheila's attorneys want the jury to hear a voicemail that Gino left for Dan 2 months before the murder saying, you motherfucker, you want to fuck with this marriage? I'm going to kick your fucking ass.
Not bad.
So, not bad. State offers a plea deal in the middle of this. Yeah, they offer second-degree murder, 25 years.
Okay.
She says, no.
Oh,
don't think
we're going
so.
to trial.
She'll later, this is in the middle of the trial.
Okay.
She'll later say it wasn't, the offer was never conveyed to her, which the lawyer would be disbarred for that. You can't fucking do that. So she doesn't testify at all. She doesn't do any of that shit. They say, the prosecutor says the smoking gun in this case is that the defendant's own words telling police where the body is.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of her sons testify against her, saying just what we said. We went to the, she told me to go here, so we went to the landing, then we went to this vacant lot and that vacant lot and all this type of shit. So the prosecutor here in the closing says she didn't say, I think someone killed Kelly Brennan. I think someone else killed Kelly Brennan. I think Gino killed Kelly Brennan. And how do we know that she's telling the truth about that? Because she was able to produce Kelly Brennan's body.
Yeah.
The police, her friends, her boyfriend, her girlfriend, all had been looking all night long. No one could see her. They went to Gino's house. No one of them could find her. Nobody even thought about Mark's Landing. The only one who ever said anything about Mark's Landing is that woman, the defendant, Sheila Graham Trott.
Great point.
And what happens when the police actually go there, knowing that she had already taken her own sons there? The police go there and look and still can't find the body in the daytime until the helicopter shows up and sees it from above. He says an absence of evidence equals proof of something. The state wants that's what the defense says. Yeah. That's what the state wants you to believe. But it's bullshit. She's so fucking innocent here. Are you kidding me? Talk about more emails that Sheila had sent that had been written from her to Dan about all this shit. They read that. Here is another one. This is an email from Sheila to Gino Rallo. That's the honeymoon period one that we talked about. He's in for a very big surprise and all that kind of shit. The defense closing says this. You're being asked to believe a 115-pound person is going to be able to pick up a 146-pound person, probably deceased at that point, and no pun intended, but there's dead weight. She's going to pick her up from the floor, lift her up, place her in the seat of not a Honda Civic, but an SUV, place her in there with no neighbors hearing a thing, no neighbors hearing blow after blow after blow. Does that make any logical sense? No, but it makes more sense than her being a fucking psychic. So
Yeah, that's the thing. She knows a few too many details that nobody would know.
No, she said she had no ill will, no spite, no evil intent, no premeditation. You saw this person. You heard the person that had all these things and how he acted on those feelings. Ladies and gentlemen, the decision that you need to speak is that Sheila Graham Trott is not guilty. Thank you.
Okay.
The verdict comes in. While they're waiting for it, Sheila's mom says, quote, "It's hard in the heart, but if she's found guilty, there's something very wrong with the system." This is ridiculous. Less than 3 hours into deliberations, they have a verdict.
Okay.
The mother says that she can't wait to hear the good news. She knows this is good news.
Have you heard
quote,
the good news?
Have you heard the good news? Quote, I was dancing in the elevator. I was so excited because I knew. I kept saying, we're going to bring our girl home. That's right. And they find her guilty of first-degree premeditated murder.
In Florida.
Sentencing here.
Yeah.
You, ma'am, may fuck off. Life in prison.
Yes.
Life. No 25 years. Now life. She appeals on a few things: ineffective assistance of counsel, for not objecting to certain things that the state said in closing. None of that shit matters.
Right.
You wrote a long letter. You knew where the body was. Kelly Brennan's family says, what a tragedy for the family here. They said, one of her friends said, when she did come to work, she was always happy and she had her little corner. It was called Kelly's Corner, a place in the hospital where Kelly gave extra care and attention to her patients. And even after she died, that was an area of reverence. If you went there, it was comforting. Aww. So that's nice. Sheila, by the way, this is on TV when she's doing her TV interview. Yeah. Why shouldn't this audience believe you're just a clever sociopath, that you are a killer? You know the difference between right and wrong, but in the case of Kelly Brennan, you don't care. She said, oh, I do care. When would her body have been discovered? You said to yourself, who led them to the body? It was us saying that, and it was Mark's Landing. They would have never checked Mark's Landing. But the desperate, I have to live with a lot of guilt for not stopping the attack, and now I'm paying the price. Kelly's family has closure, but they don't have justice because I didn't kill Kelly.
Okay.
That's it. Her sons, Creighton and Graham, told 48 Hours, because that's what she was on, that we, quote, unequivocally believe in our mother's innocence and stand by her.
Are you... What
yep.
How do you...
I'm
what does
like,
that
wow.
say?
Loyal.
Yeah.
She was on 48 Hours, the episode Vision of Murder, which is a good name for it. She is still in prison. She's obviously, Christ, she was there. People think she's innocent, though. Fundraiser, funrazr.com has a fundraiser for her. Here's one of the comments on it. I'm about 26 minutes into this and Sheila didn't kill her. I'm now to the part where her mother is on the phone with police saying she confessed, and this is complete crap. She had no reason to kill her. I do find it odd that her roommate calls the cops 2 hours into this, but I'm a real skeptic. Also, with premonitions like this, they are so personal. A person is led to believe they are responsible because the energy that surrounds this type of premonition is really super heavy, in capital letters, to where you can't breathe type of heavy. It's an open and shut case for the cops with absolutely no effort, case closed, and no one cares. Kelly's ex-husband had more to lose than Sheila did. There's no physical evidence, and I agree with Sheila's lawyer. It's complete bunk.
Put the incense out, lady.
Yeah, calm the fuck down. And that the fundraiser has raised nothing, basically.
Not a dime.
Nothing. It's like, I can't remember what it was, but it's like $60. It has the amount, and it's on the picture from the live show. I don't fucking remember. But it's not anything of any that matters at all. Yeah. Her kids write the thing. Thank you for all your support. And that, everybody, is Sheila Graham Trott and Dan Trott and poor Kelly Brennan and Gino Rallo and poor Bald Graham and the whole thing. What a goddamn mess. That's Florida for you, everybody.
Hell of a story.
That's why we go to Florida for that. You know what I mean? That's why you got to go to Florida murder cases, man. They're crazy as shit.
They really deliver.
They really do. So we hope that's some more information, a little more into that letter specifically that we couldn't get into with the live show, and a lot more information. So we hope you enjoyed that even more this time if you're one of the people that saw the virtual live show. And if so, tell the world. Review. Wherever you listen to podcasts, whatever app, platform, review for us. It really does help a lot. It helps. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. Get your merchandise, first of all sorts of stuff for crime and sports and small town murder. And even more than that, get your tickets to live shows. Live shows. We're in California next month. We're in San Diego. We're in LA. We're in Brea there. Yeah. We are in Phoenix, and then I think we're in like Seattle and Portland in December. Seattle. But those might be sold out. I'm not positive.
I think they are. They might be all done by now.
A lot of these are sold out, and some of them have some tickets left. So get your tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Yeah. Do that. Patreon this week is something else you want to do. Yeah. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Anybody over the $5 monthly level gets access to all the shows. You're going to get at least 4 bonuses a month from both shows. Mm-hmm. This week, very interesting stuff for the crime and sports episode, which of course you'll have access to, because you have access to everything. Right. We're going to talk about the boxer Christy Martin, who's an amazing boxer, but we're not going to talk about her career. We're going to talk about her crazy home life and what happened there, because the story is unfucking believable.
What a life.
There's a documentary out right now, and it is wild, and we're going to talk about her. She's such a badass boxer. She was so fun to watch. And then for Small Town Murders bonus episode, you know what? It's personal ad time, everybody. We're back. Or not personal ads, I'm sorry. It's prisoner dating game
there you go.
time. Prisoner dating game time, the all-violent felon edition. I lined Jimmie up 4 young ladies and 4 young men, or old men and old ladies, who knows. The only thing they have in common is they are all in prison for a violent felony. Jimmie's going to choose a lucky lady and a lucky fella based just on their little head descriptions on their dating profile. And then afterwards, we're going to find out who he picked, what they look like, and most of all, what the fuck they did to get in there. And it's a lot of fun when Jimmie finds out that he is going on a date with a pedophile. It's funny stuff. Or a murderous pedophile or something like that.
Something awful.
It's the most fun, the prisoner dating game. Check that out. And the whole back catalog you can do here at patreon.com/crime and sports. And you're going to get a shout out, which we'll do in a moment here. In addition to that, you can do that on PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com, if you just want to get a shout out and our undying love. Also, follow us on social media at Murder Small on Twitter, at SmallTownPod on Facebook, at SmallTownMurder on Instagram. Jimmie, God damn it. Give me a list of the people that I'm going to have clairvoyant visions of their murder. Give me them right goddamn now.
This week's executive producers are Roy Kuntz. It's got to be Kuntz, right?
I hope so.
It's got to be.
I really do.
Jordan Bennett, Dakota Durbin.
Thanks, Jordan.
Carly Ritland, Julia Baranowski, and Christiane Castaldi. And truly, though, besides the obvious financial help that you guys are doing, the people that, like Jordan and Chrissy, reach out to me and talk, and
they're good people.
When it's really helpful, and I can't tell you guys what it means to me to have conversations with you guys when I have I got a lot of fucking problems, and people
I don't have time to talk to you, but I appreciate it.
The words mean just as much as the money is the point. So thank you guys so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Other producers
in
this
all
week,
seriousness,
thank
truth,
you. Honest,
I'm
honest to
kidding,
fuck,
but thank you
from the heart.
That I'm not kidding about.
Other producers are James Martyr, Jennifer Ward. She donates both ways. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Corporal Carl Kirshner, Peyton Meadows, Mark Hummel had a birthday. It's his 23rd birthday.
Damn.
With all the youth, you son of a bitch. Enjoy it.
Youthful bastard, you.
Nick Ruggiero, not a freak of Fark in Montana, whoever that is. Tanya Zamudio.
Freak of Arkansas.
Yeah,
Fark,
but this one is not a freak of Fark.
Not.
In Montana. So
I guess not.
Of Montana? I don't know. Jan Markinko? Jaman? It might be Jean Markinko.
Markinko. Okay.
Maria Rasper, Emmy Dumont, Caitlin Quinn making moose jerky, and she's sending us some, so thank you.
Cool.
Caitlin Quinn. Did I say Carly? I don't know what I did. Our lovely lady Steve Schnell in Pennsylvania. I think he's in Pittsburgh, right? He is. No, he's in Philly. Philly, man. I'm sorry. Jesus.
Yeah.
Janice Hill, Kelsey Couts, Michelle at Centeno, Kennels. She's in Baynesville, Ontario. Thank you so much, Michelle. Frank, the South African birdwasher. Monica Cruz, Nancy Weaver, Keaton McKinnon, Jess Finch, Marianne Rodriguez, Brendan Abels, Daniel Kaufman. Oh, he got married, by the way. Happy what? Congratulations. That's the
Thank you, Brendan Abels. Good to see you in there. He's a nice kid. I like that kid.
Derek Disrogers, I think. Audrey N. Walker Washburn, Ryan Sherman, Perrion, I think. Renee with no last name. Dennis Scott, Kelly Kell, Jessica Cole,
small
Annie.
Forward.
Say again.
Dennis Scott.
Yes,
Dennis Scott, the sharpshooting 3-point shooting from the Orlando Magic.
Coach
player.
Dennis Scott.
The weird face. A weird face. It looked like the theater masks, kind of like if you made that into a human.
On a giant head. He had a big head, too.
Big old head and weird face.
Jessica Cole, Annie Zaragoza, Robin Hannaberry up in Canada. Thank you, Robin. Kimberly with no last name. I imagine that is whore. Tom Cotter, Justin Marshall, Liz Alaska, Mary Zacharuski, Steven Smith. Probably the 3-point bomber from the Heat, James. Steve Smith.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, on the Olympic team. The 96 Olympian.
Yes. Heather and Dan Miller, 69. Whatever.
Sure.
Nikki Mendez, Jennifer Patterson, Brian Shimkus, Jimmie Petra Whisman. Whatever. Leslie Anzalone, Alexis Hoare, Christian Sanchez, Chris Martin. I should probably explain that because people that are donating now don't know what the fuck that's about.
They don't know from before.
Yeah, because they don't stick around and listen to those. They listen for their name. And it means somebody's last name was Hoare. And
H-O-A-R.
So now, and it was real. That's a real last name.
Yeah, we were like, how do we? There's the only way to say this is whore. I'm sorry, you can't say it any other way.
Because you pronounce it the other way, and it's just extra stank on the whore.
Yeah, it's just hooah. It's worse. She's a hooah.
So now anybody that donates with just your first name gets whore as your last name.
Last name.
Not because we're insulting you, but because it's fucking hilarious.
Yes, it's just funny to have the last name whore.
Christian Sanchez, Chris Martin, probably the lead singer of Coldplay. Irene Sabolvaro, Plank. Toby Muninger, Ashley Lott, Perry McDaniel, Michelle Vilas, Brittany Lloyd, Elaine Black, Suzanne Pena, Sarah Kinzier, oh boy, Kristen Stone, Christina Moody, Shalima Althaus. She's donated before, and I recognize the name. Aaron Holiday, Mary Danielson, Sid Haas, Shelby Smith, Kyle Hurry, Molly Hoare, Vincent Diaz Jr., Mustafa Turani, TP Samurai or TPS Amurai, Marie Antoinette, probably not. Sue Adams, sure. I think she's dead, right?
I mean, yeah,
she
but
should be. Chuck Sharts, probably not. Tony Allen, Amanda Dawson, Tom Lawrence, Ashley Wiederman, Nick Carlton, Haley Absalom, Rebecca Miller, David Stilley, Wallace Bitches.
What?
I don't know. That's somebody's name. Melissa Ann, Chris Tremblay, Colton Tannehill, Lindsay Lavender, Tara Mealy, Chrissy Colby, Michelle Chitwood, William Masters, Jala Dawn, Kenny X, Suzanne Pena, CJ Hoare, Peyton Wallace, Lacey Warnke, Penny Deaver, Dan Brown, Sandy Sultan, Lillian Lovins, Tina Garuba, Dylan Murray, Katie Hoare, Marcelo Hoare, Robert Walsh, Jesse Lindsay, Janelle Dittus, Ken Lehman, Alice Krasno, Heidi Corey, Edwin Reyes, Deborah Wall, James Yates, Kyle Silva, Yusuf Maya Yuga fuck. What? Yusuf, that's what that is. Yusuf Maya fuck off. They were trying to make a funny name. That's what. And my computer corrected it to yourself. Maysal Rayak, what?
Christopher Ekstrom, Ashley Tunstall, Jen Hoare, Alice May Bell, Wendy Hoare, Stacy Ballweg, Ashley Brodervelt, Savannah Reinhardt, Amy Ambrose, Cassie Fink, Stephanie McAlpine, Brandon Lynn, Sean Harrington, Tim Gorman, Valerie Houle, Nathan McKenney, Kendra Harvey, Erica Comfort, Josh Wall, Tina Lovett, Kit Mail, Stephen Flanagan, Ash Hoare, Mandy Freeman, Emily Hibbler, Gino Yeager, Renee Anderson, Nikki Hoare, Cassett Whitcomb, Susan Fetcher, Finn Raines, Isaac Carter, Mary Potter, probably not, Megan Hoare, Angel Betancourt, Sheila Adams, Michael Musket, Laura Schwartz, Eric Minari, Stephen Hoare, Ashley Holt, Claire Gertch, Ashley Temeny, Timothy Bergen, Deanna Mayo, Kylie Rowan, Jessica Yerman, Julianne Pinkerton. Fuck the Pinkerton. I watch Deadwood. Those people are assholes. Maud O's, Ashley. Nope, that's Allison Jacobs, Nikki Hawk, Ariana Eubanks, Deanna Cushing, Ann Stewart, Courtney with no last name, Crimson Tears 1212. Donna Eldridge, Michael Gway, not that you got to be very careful with. Jay McClellan, Morgan Jessup, William Hoare, Simon Arson, Arson, Lori Hill, Michael Santinelli, Lee Fee Fowers, David, what is that? Rindoni, Laura Coots, Maya Cox Tuckener. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You happy? You proud of yourself now? Ryan Kenyon, Caitlin Grimes, Stephanie King, Tamara Colwell, Mia, Mian Carzarosa. It's not a word. I don't know what that is. Nick Hoare, Allison Corbett, Eric Hanna, Daniel Wagner, Olivia Music, Mama Corpsemaker, and Michael Grimm, and obviously all of our patrons. You guys are the best people. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. God damn it, these people are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will never bury you in the bushes so you can only be seen by a helicopter. We will never do that to you.
I would not do well in jail.
No. Jimmy, what if they wanted to tell you that you won't die on a beach? How could they possibly get a hold of you?
I'm on the internet, and so are you. Where are you?
We are. Hey, you can find us. Google search the show. Google Small Town Murder, and you're going to say, hey, those two guys hosted.
There they are.
You can find us from there.
You can find us too.
Accidentally posted our picture, which was hilarious. That said, it's been a goddamn wild episode. Thank you for joining us. If you've joined us from the virtual live show, also thank you twice. We really do appreciate it. That said, until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.